everybody. Here we are together again, another Friday evening. This is Friday the 13th, January the 13th, 2023, Friday the 13th. Here we are. Also, for reference, we have the triskaidekaphobia, which is the Greek word for the fear of the number 13, right? There's a lot of superstition and history with the letter 13. So, what I want to share today, obviously, going to talk about Dr. Umar Johnson, right? Couple clips I wanted to share of him, but before that, I want to get into a comment. So here we are on my YouTube page, and so let me play this short I made about a couple weeks ago, I think, in my car. So it's kind of ghetto, but working on it, right? So colorism in the community. Let me play this. What's going on, everyone? This is your friendly neighborhood mulatto security guard. So what I want to talk about right now is this recent community post that I saw from attorney Dennis Sperling on YouTube. And on his community post, as you can see here, he's basically stating that it's only okay for dark-skinned Black people to make colorist comments about light-skinned people or mixed people. But when it's the other way around, when you clap back at them, all of a sudden you're a racist, you're a colorist. I've been hearing this foolishness for a while. This one-way aggression where it's okay for dark-skinned people to be racist and colorist and exclusive towards you. But as soon as you do it to them, you say something and clap back, all of a sudden you're the bad guy. I know a lot of you guys have seen this too. Let's talk about it. Tell me what you think. So yeah, I made that little clip. Obviously, it's because of a post from attorney Dennis Sperling, who's light skinned, himself, or I mean, clearly phenotypically presenting as a mixed race man. He's more so obviously Black identified. He doesn't really go into the whole mixed, identity, so to speak. But I wanted to point that out. Obviously, a lot of us were well aware that it's basically one way, right? You can be a Black person and praise dark skin, and oh yeah, for the community, everything's good. I think the gentleman's actually live right now, Dennis Sperling, but I don't really follow him that much, but he's more so Black manosphere. Most of his audience, clientele, consumers are Black men. He's definitely a proponent of the passport community, etc., whatnot. But he's a very successful man, high practicing attorney. That's besides the point. He's a light skinned man, and for him to point that out with his majority Black audience was very honorable, I should say, because I think that's the first post I've ever seen him kind of clap back against the foolishness. What I want to get back to, the main point of this, is that you obviously looking at me, you can tell I'm light skinned, right? Now, I didn't grow up in a community. Um, but I've been around the community, obviously, as an adult. But I didn't grow up in a community, so I never got picked on or anything like that for being light skinned. It wasn't until I became an adult I started navigating certain spaces, and I'm like, well, shit, I don't have to be here dealing with you fuckers. So I was like, all right, if I'm here to make money or to be entertained or laugh or something like that, then okay, yeah, I could deal with you. But I didn't start seeing this type of stuff until as an adult. So it just kind of baffled me, the colorism component. But the main focus here. So if you're dark skinned, you can praise, oh, I want a dark skinned woman or I want a dark skinned man. It's all good in the hood. But you being a light skinned man or a light skinned woman, and you say you only want a light skinned person or only attracted to a light skinned person, all of a sudden people are going to label you as a racist or a colorist, is the key term they're using. Um, we all see that, the foolishness, what I put here, the hypocrisy. It's amazing. I mean, just what it is more people kind of have to speak up, right? We don't have enough, there's not enough people from my, observation that are speaking up about that. I'm doing my part, shit. I'm in my car at work and shit. It is what it is. If I can do that, any of you guys can, basically. But it's definitely one way. You can only praise dark skin in the community. But you start praising light skin, people are gonna look at you funny, you know. Very interesting. But like I said, you know, yeah. The main meat of the matter for this particular little short, before I get into the whole Umar stuff, is I want to share this because this yesterday, a day ago, I received a comment that I wanted to kind of highlight. Pretty lengthy comment, but it's very interesting. This is a person, I believe this is a French individual. I checked their channel. I believe they're from France, but let me get into it. So what they don't realize is that they are putting themselves at a disadvantage. The mixed race people are going to start turning their backs on them. And it's clearly not the non-black people who are going to support them. They don't realize that mixed race people are the greatest allies of black causes, of course. Now, I'm an American, so I can speak to you from America, American history. Frederick Douglass, mulatto man, advocated for the black plight, helped these blacks get out of slavery. Thurgood Marshall, is a mulatto man, Supreme Court justice, helped these blacks get integration and all other type of resources, affirmative action, etc., so they can be competitive in society. Adam Clayton Powell, mulatto, who helped represent blacks in the Harlem, New York district. So we have an extensive track record of mulatto people throughout American history. I'm talking to you guys from American perspective, helping blacks in all areas of human endeavor, helping them, give them the foot up, representing them, honoring them, advocating for them. The greatest allies to all of these blacks have always been mulattoes. So this whole colorism thing is very tricky because they're essentially spitting in their face. And what she says here is mixed race people are going to start turning their backs. Start well, a lot of them are already doing that, especially if you go to TikTok, some of these other spaces, even obviously with the channel I am. Now it's kind of strong language, I guess say turning their backs. Well, I mean, you if someone at for me, my personal story, okay. If you advocate for someone and you help them out, you do business with them, etc., vouch for them, and then they spit in your face or slap you, slap you in the face. Yeah, I mean, is that really warranted to turn your back on them? I mean, it's not. I don't know how to phrase this. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. If someone's out there, your true ally, someone's out there helping you, advocating for you, and then you mock them and laugh at them, and then they don't support your ass anymore, and they essentially become an adversary, so to speak. I mean, what do you expect? Continuing on, there's a whole lot to be said there for one little stream. I don't think I want to, dive too deep into that right now. So, anyway, I really hope that mixed race people will organize and make their own community. That's exactly what we're doing right here. So, as she puts the comment, this is something small, but obviously, as time goes on, it grows. Um, it's not normal for these people to insult us without repercussions. Bingo. Now I have the microphone. Now we have the microphone. Now we're speaking up. It's not normal because a lot of these people, especially the pro wax, the black identity extremists, they're too vocal and bold to get online and to make all these claims and all these mulatto phobic claims, these conspiracy theories. I mean, it's amazing. They're too bold. They're too bold, and they know better. They're not going to get all uppity and say anything about Hispanics. They're not going to get out of pocket with Asians, okay? And even they say a lot of crazy stuff about white people, but they at the end of the day they know their place, okay? So when they look at us, they feel like they're like a punching bag. They can say whatever they want, make all these claims, and then when we do it back, what's the first thing they tell you? You're a racist. That's cool with me. Shit. I mean, I rather be that than a bitch. I'm not gonna let you just run up here and punk me. So I've been uploading content to YouTube for the past 6 months. Okay. So I know I've had this channel. You go to the about section. This channel's been, in full operation or active, I should say, since like 2013 or something. But I didn't upload any videos. I just watched everyone else's shit. And I watched all these pro wax black nationalists make all these comments about mulattoes, the buffer class, and all this foolishness. We're going to get into a lot of that with Dr. Umar. So I have firsthand knowledge in this because obviously I've met the man, I've attended some conferences, talked to people. I know what I'm talking about. This isn't just conjecture. This is firsthand knowledge. So going back to the comment. So we'll organize and make their own community, what we're doing right now. It's not normal for these people to insult us without repercussions. Exactly. Because if they say anything about Asians, they get all uppity, run their mouth about certain other demographics. Like I'm not going to name specific groups, but I think you guys all know. by that kind of, you know, yeah, they know who to talk about. Okay, they know who not to talk about. Let me rephrase that. Like when LeBron James opened up his mouth, they checked him. 21 Savage ran his mouth, they checked him. Nick Cannon opened up his mouth, they checked him. Kanye West opened up his mouth, they checked him. So they know not to get uppity with certain people. They'll get checked very quickly. And that goes for all of their demographics as well. So, but yeah, they'll run their mouth about mulattoes, spreading all these conspiracy theories about biracials, the mixed race people, the buffer class, and all this other. I mean, you guys got to stop being punks. You got to let your voice be heard. And I'm actually, I'm very happy to see a lot of people on TikTok challenging the foolishness. I don't see a lot of it on YouTube. To be honest with you, I'm not really that impressed. I see a lot of these mulattoes, mixed race people are fucking punks. They're punks for blacks. They let blacks talk shit, run their mouth on their own platforms. Shout out to Flowers because Flowers, brought that up to my attention as well. She was on someone else's channel. They had a bunch of blacks up there talking shit about light skinned people, and the guy who hosts the panel is who his channel. He's a light skinned guy. I'm like, you cannot make this shit up. You let these other people come up there and insult you in your own house, your own room, and you just accept your position. You cannot make this shit up. That's not happening with me over here. Continuing on, so also now they're having another debate about mixed race people with non-black mothers. They're saying horrible and racist things without any repercussions. The key thing is repercussions. And of course, next week I'm going to talk about reciprocity. Okay. When you give something, you're supposed to get something in return. So repercussions, that falls in line with the code of conduct. Okay. So if someone does something that's inappropriate or out of line, that needs to be met with repercussions. Essentially, I find it crazy. The same thing was said about them. It would be the end of the world. Yeah, they'd call you racist, anti-black. All these fucking idiots are gonna get up here and say that I'm, the mulatto vanguard's anti-black. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you, hoes. This guy like me who's been to an all-black nation, donated money, to black organizations, marched in the Martin Luther King Jr. parade in Los Angeles, done all this shit, but they're still going to run their mouth saying, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. You don't live my life. So when you got to fight back, they tell you you're anti-black. You got to say, hey, you're anti-mulatto. You're anti-mixed race. The saddest part about it is not even black people, okay? You're going to have mixed people who are going to be anti-mixed race. Very sad. But you guys are going to wake up and realize once I share more of this information with you. So moving along, before I didn't really pay attention to all these skin color issues. But now that I see how mixed race people are treated by black people, I have decided to voluntarily privilege mixed race people. I am a mixed race person. Okay. Let me continue. And I have the right to prefer and support mixed race people who face racist and nasty comments from hateful people. You know what? They made me become colorist. Yeah. Well, you had to realize, and I put in the comment too, that it used to be, with Martin Luther King, obviously his famous speech. We're going to talk a little bit about that next week or in a few days, I should say. The content of your character versus the color of your skin, the brown paper bag test, all those concepts are upheld by the monoracial black community here in America. I need to be very specific. I'm not talking about, people in Europe, people in Africa, Caribbean. I'm specific to United States of America, where I'm at located. So the environment that I'm in, I'm speaking on this environment. But it's the community that upholds the brown paper bag test. And it's the community that will judge you based on the color of your skin, not the content of your character. Like I said, someone like me who's marched in, MLK parades, donated money, been in all, and you're met a lot of, not all the time, but a lot of times you're met with suspicion. Oh, I don't trust you. You light skin. See, all this shit, So they're the ones who are upholding this color of your skin right away because you're mixed, you're light skin. I don't trust you. You a half breed working for the white man. But then it's like, you know, when you judge them, oh, you're a racist. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. What are you gonna do about it? So and I replied to this person. Um, if the comment can load up. Oh, I think it is. Okay, here we go. Right here. You are absolutely correct. They are putting themselves at a disadvantage. We can already see with our eyes that mixed race people are, quote, burning the capes. Now, let me clarify. I think that word is fitting in this instance, but I don't like that phrase, I should say. This phrase is fitting for this instance, but I don't like it because that is a divester specific phrase. So I'm very specific on kind of the terminology I present. I stray away from the wacky divester bullshit. Um, but I think that is extremely fitting. Burning the cape, stop caping, Um, but that comes from the divester, nomenclature. But burning the cape, you already see it right now. Obviously, with me talking to you right now, I'm speaking specifically for the plight and advocacy of mulatto people. Now, this person I replied to, she kept saying mixed race. That's what I wanted to continue to say, mixed race people, but very broad and ambiguous, right? I talked about the lady, I think her name was Maria Roots, if I'm not mistaken, who wrote the Mixed Race Bill of Rights, I believe. She's a Filipina. Most Filipinas and most Latinos, they are in the mixed race umbrella for all intents and purposes because they are a kind of mixture of different groups. So mulatto obviously is extremely specific. Continuing on, it says, we are developing our own interests in advocating for ourselves, as I'm doing here. What you stated is 100% accurate. Non-black people will not support moving forward, and generally, they never have. So obviously, probably some grammar issues there. I'll correct that. What you say is 100% accurate. Non-black people will not support. I should have put them moving forward, and generally, they have never have. Exactly. Yeah. The Asian demographic, they don't hire black people like that. They don't really invest in the community. They just take all their money and have a good day and build their own institutions, their own networks, their own business districts. Latino people, when they have business establishments, they don't really hire black people like that. The highest number of unemployment in America is by black people. The black people have the highest number of unemployment, black men, black women, both compared to all these other demographics. I don't have the stats to share with you, but please leave a comment, let me know, and I will gladly go get that information and share with you. This is common knowledge. I mean, this is not something that you don't need to do a lot of thorough research to present those findings. It's very common. There's no business structure institutions out there, and it's not only that, it's the culture of backstabbing and scamming and trying to come up off somebody. You don't have that type of network where people hire their own, do business with their own. That's a whole nother discussion about economics. So yeah, these other groups, like I said, these immigrant groups, Asians, Hispanics, they're not down with the community like that. It's always been the mixed race, the mulatto people, right? But a lot of that stuff's changing now. A lot of them have gotten their biracial wake up call. They're opening up their eyes now. I'm not telling you guys what to do or how to act. I'm just presenting the information, and you guys make your own opinion on it. So, mixed race people have been their biggest allies. Like I already pointed out, you have Frederick Douglass, right? Abolitionist who helped them get out of slavery. W. Du Bois, who helped build schools, educate them. Thurgood Marshall, who helped advocate for affirmative action for these laws to help them get resources. Adam Clayton Powell, who helped, represent them in government. So like I've said since day one, our track record is solid. So when you have all these fucking pro-wax who want to say they're conspiring with the white man against us and all this shit, you know, I can give you so many examples of men and women who have advocated for the community, who have been their biggest allies. Show me an equivalent to an Asian person, a Latino person, a European person who has advocated for them the level that mulattoes have. I don't see it. It is what it is. It's gonna bite them in the ass. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. It's a lesson that people are gonna eventually have to learn. So we have gotten them out of slavery in America. Like I said, Frederick Douglass and other nations alike. So I'm speaking from America, but I know similar cases like In Mexico, one of the first presidents there was an Afro Latino. So, and I know in Brazil and et cetera, South America, you have examples of this. It was Thurgood Marshall and Adam Clayton Powell who helped them achieve these civil rights acts that helped them immensely. I started my channel to challenge the pro-whack black nationalist conspiracy theories that are promoted by black identity extremists. You are correct. They should feel so bold and comfortable. They shouldn't. See, I have a couple grammatical errors. They shouldn't feel so bold and comfortable making insults about us. I've had a similar biracial wake up call as you. I didn't even put up here. Yeah. This is embarrassing reading my own text. I could only listen to the insults long enough before I turned my back on them. Okay, so there I put that phrase there, turning my back on them, which is pretty strong language, I might add, but got to admit, and focus my energy towards people similar to me with a similar plight. The black mother versus white mother debate is being made by black female divestors slash fem cells. Okay, the black community is the only community in America that's matriarchal, meaning that the women lead, which is a fact. Okay, the white community, white men lead. Asian community in America, Asian men lead. The Latino community in America, Latino men lead. Okay, the Middle Eastern Arabic community in America, the men lead. Okay, the only community in America where the women are above the men is the black community in America. And we can see how well that's been going. Yeah, the brokest, poorest people, the least educated people. Okay. Um, yeah, numbers don't lie. Okay, math is not racist. You can make all the little claims and frivolous claims you want. Math isn't racist. The numbers don't lie. And you can throw out conspiracies about the mulatto, about the white man, and all your little goofy ass conspiracies, but when we start presenting the data, the numbers, it doesn't lie. I encourage biracial, mixed race, innocuous language people to not let monoracial voices subvert their thinking and split you up based on your parentage configuration, like what they're doing now. Because the divestors, like I said, they're the ones who are the strongest, and the black men who are the SYSBM, passport, Pookies, and all that shit. The black community is coming to us, mulatto, biracial people, telling us, oh, the ones with black moms are better. Oh, the ones with black dads are better. Both angles, both of them. This is the black community. These are monoracial people. Who are trying to tell us who's blacker, who's the best blacks. They're on TikTok. They're using language like superior. The ones who are better, especially the divestors, are the ones saying superior. I got some receipts. Cynthia G's bitch ass and some of the other foolish divestors. They're already saying that. These are the females. The females are the ones who are saying the black mom biracials are better. And the black men are the ones walking around saying the black male biracials are better. You're the seed of your father. I'm telling you guys right now, if you're listening to I know I got some of you guys up in here. You guys are commenting. I'll get to your comments, but I'm like, look, this is an internal affair. Let's have these discussions amongst ourselves. Don't fall for the foolishness, okay? Let's have these conversations ourselves without the monoracial infringement, because they're trying to split us up and divide us so they can use our ass for their agenda. I'm telling you right now, man, guys, don't fall for the cake. I mean, don't fall for the trick. I don't know what else. I mean, if you're not smart enough to see that foolishness, if you want to play these games based on the parentage configuration, oh, you're more balanced because you got a black dad or a black mom and all that. I mean, these in the SYSBM, passport, Pookies, and all these motherfuckers. I mean, you guys, man, if you fall for that shit, they're trying to divide us up. We're barely getting off the ground running to form a solid community. And we're already having these discussions about, oh, whose parent is who, and all this. Okay, let me continue on. I encourage biracial, mixed race people to not let monoracial voices subvert their thinking and split up based on their parentage configuration. Monoracials need to know their place. Okay. The divestment femcell community wants to use biracials with black moms as a pawn for their control. because that's what I see. That's who I see, my honest opinion, pushing it the most. When I see on TikTok, like I said, I got some receipts. Cynthia G's bitch ass, some of these other idiots, they're the ones pushing the black mom. They feel like they'll be more loyal to the community because you learn culture through their mother. I'm going to share a clip with Dr. Umar talking about this as well. So a lot of times they flip flop and switch. See, it's the community, it's a black community that's confused. It's not the mulattoes and biracials. Because one day, the black community will tell you, well, you're the seed of your father. Your father's black, you a black man. And then they'll flip. Okay, the pro wax, they'll flip. Then they'll say, well, you learn culture from your mother. So if you got a black mom, then you'll learn black culture through the mom. So they flip flop and they're playing games with you guys, is what I'm trying to tell you. They're playing games with you guys. Do they have your best interest at heart, or do they want to use your ass to fight their battles? What is their battle? What most of these pro whacks, what I've learned, I've had my epiphany moment. I'm a younger man, I'm in my early 30s. They want white acceptance. They want to get closer to white people. They want to be loyal slaves to white people. They want white acceptance. They want to use your ass as that bridge to get to white people. Eventually, you guys are going to wake up and smell the coffee. So the brown paper bag test is not held up by white society today. It is held up by the black community today. Even light-skinned blacks are tired of their shit and constant harassment and bullying, because you see that obviously the whole golden sphere was essentially created by light-skinned blacks. They got tired of getting picked on, so they wanted their own space, which, hey, man, I salute to them. But of course, there is a difference between someone who's light-skinned black and someone who's a mulatto, like myself, who's half, a mixture of European. Um, the days of judging a man on the content of their character is long gone in reference to the community, because I've been a solid advocate for them and I'm light skinned. Obviously, the picture here or the video, the community will judge you on the color of your skin and not the content of your character, like I, stated prior. They have their little dark skin versus light skin debates all over social media, making themselves look stupid and less trustworthy. The community upholds the brown paper bag test 2023, because I've talked to somebody before about that. You see how they have videos. They'll publicly go out there on TikTok, YouTube with their little microphone and camera and their cell phone, and they'll ask random women, who do you prefer, light skin or dark skin? I mean, that's why, like, I don't get into the whole color component when, as far as mulattoes are concerned. That's some black community bullshit. This light skin, dark skin, I'm not interested in all that foolishness. I mean, but they're doing that today. The younger generation, they're still doing that. They're playing that little game about this color. Do you hear white people? They're all white. Even Hispanic people. I don't really hear those discussions with any other demographic. But in the community in the United States of America, they're fixated on color, right? And of course, if you're lighter skinned, you're a minority within that community, and that community is a minority within the greater society. So, I mean, just look at the numbers and, you know, make a decision. They're on an island by themselves without any allies, meaning the community. They alienate all their true allies, and then they cry when those people move on, move in. They're left with no one who cares, and they're at the bottom of society. Thanks for tuning in. I'm here to build, network, and grow. Man, I apologize. I'm kind of embarrassed because my spelling, my grammar is so embarrassing. Shit. So I'm going to get your guys' comments right now. You guys are here. What's going on? I think I got something. Yeah. Right here.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Shout out to the mulattoes in the chat. Hybrid, the Conquerors in the house. We got Telling Stewart. Good to see you as well. And then I'm going to read you guys' comments going to the whole Umar Johnson. A couple clips. He had a newer one a few weeks ago. That's how I feel about it too. They get to be anti-white and anti-mulatto, anti them, and other people feel bad for them because of slavery. Yeah, I think a lot what I've learned with the Hispanic people, the Latino people, Chicano people, Mexican Americans specifically, they don't give a fuck. They're even more anti-black and more racist than any other demographic. I'd say probably them. Publicly, I'll say that. You all see me, you see my face, you know what's up. I'm from Southern California. I'd probably say Chicano community and then obviously Eastern Indian are probably the most anti-black people. A lot of white people kind of hold their tongue. There's a level of civility, um, but they play on the emotions of mulatto people. Definitely a lot of us. You're anti-black. I'm in a position now. I don't give a fuck, bitch. Hit the like button, subscribe, or keep it pushing. Put a comment, engage. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. I've already done enough, and I'll probably end up doing more with civilized, decent black people who are welcome here. And I'll definitely, do business with them. Like I said, good relationships with people in Ghana, um, in other places as well. Just what it is I'm gonna tell people who I am. I'm not going to let the pro wax and the goofballs tell me who I am. I'm going to tell you who I am. And I'm going to choose who the good blacks are, who I deal with. Just like they want to choose who the good biracials are, the good mulattoes that they trust, they want to deal with. Well, I have the power now. I'm going to choose who the good blacks are that I'm going to deal with. A lot of you guys are eventually going to wake up and smell the coffee and be put in that position as well, where you start having some authority. So continue to move on. DC is in the house. And then, of course, shout out to Bree, Mulatto Northern Lights. Many mixed people participate in these movements until they inevitably realize that who the people are speaking, marching against is them, which is mixed people. Anyone that has connection to white culture, yeah, that's who they don't like, right? Well, that's who they're jealous of, yeah. Connection to white culture, right? Like me, obviously, I have a white parent, a lot of white friends, associates, etc. And yeah, yeah. That's what blacks like Kanye West are going on about. Mad that whites, Asians, and them support their own folks in business and life. Nobody owes black people shit. All those groups you mentioned, the only demographic that possibly could be probably the native, I mean the Caucasian people that been in America, if you can trace your lineage back to like prior to slavery. But then you have to really go after the corporations who owned slaves, right? Because a lot of Caucasian people in America today, they have immigrated here like post slavery, right? Like Italians and Irish Americans and Germans, etc. That's kind of my stock. My European stock is from German ancestry, right? And a French Canadian as well. So on my European side, they immigrated here post slavery. My black side, African American side, is FBA, ADOS, whatever a little silly term you want to use. I've been here, in the soil through slavery. So if you want to go after the people who owe the little crybaby FBA people, you gotta be specific. Go after the corporations and the specific white people because not all these white people own slaves. So who you gonna go after? How are you gonna petition that and organize that? And these other demographics you named, like Asians, they don't know black shit. And they act like they don't, which is funny. They have their business districts, they do business with each other. And that's what I'm telling you, man. My epiphany moment happened. The nail that the straw that broke the camel's back was the beginning of 2021. In 2019 I started to kind of wake up and question things, had a lot of soul searching. 2020 I was basically done at that point, but I was still analyzing data, looking at things. But at the beginning of 2021, when the Asian hate crime situation happened, and I'd still saw all these blacks lined up to give these Asians their money. This was in San Diego. I was like, You can't help people who want to be slaves. You cannot help people. You got to eventually wake up and realize you got to put your money, your energy, your attention into something that's more, you can have more faith into it. I just don't get it. How can you, with the propaganda campaign that's out there during that time, 2021, and you're lined up to have them do your nails, you're lined up to buy food from these people, when there's this massive nationwide propaganda campaign that's saying you're the bad guy, you're attacking Asians. I didn't believe the propaganda. They were trying to frame it that black people were attacking all these Asians. Yeah, there's some for sure, but the media was really, highlighting it because they wanted to frame that anti-Asian hate bill, because a lot of Asians lost money because of lockdown. Their businesses were service industry, so they were locked down. They lost a lot of profits and money during the COVID excuse me, the bug virus situation. So the government, they crafted a plan, a scheme to basically petition the government to be like, hey, they're being attacked, they're victims, so we got to give them funding and blah blah blah. It was all because they lost business earnings because of the planned situation they had going on. But yeah, what I'm saying is, man, it's like what pissed me off was the inappropriate behavior of the community. They want to talk shit about light skinned people. They want to talk shit about mixed race people. It's the mulatto. They working for the white man. All of these bums are lined up to give Asian people their money. I'm like, hey, have fun. Don't come to me crying to me. I don't give a shit. I'm doing something else. And they kicked us out of their spaces. Let's just be clear. We're in a position we're forced to create our own spaces. They kicked us out. What do you want? I'm not going to sit around there. It's funny now that we have the microphone. We create our own spaces now. Now all of a sudden they want to creep back in. Oh, well, we're all mixed. We're all the same. It's amazing. I love this shit. This is all new to me, but it's only going to grow. The men are wanting white people to help them. Then white people are struggling too because they are struggling with the white population issue. Yeah, well, a lot of them are going to fuse in with the Latino population, as we've kind of demonstrated before, and then also with the Asian demographic. So they do have some challenges there. I used to listen to used to listen to her, Cynthia G, but she's parrots a lot of extreme feminist ideas. I don't believe in feminism anymore after my research in it. Yeah, well, feminism, the core of feminism is a lesbian. Hybrid Vigor is one of the authorities on these issues. I cannot articulate any of the concepts like he has. Obviously he's older than me, by a decade and more. He's just researched and he knows he can explain it articulately. The whole feminism phenomena. I'm a novice. I don't really know any of the foolishness, the feminism, just the surface like face value of it. So Hybrid Vigor is definitely the guy to go to as far as these concepts. From me, my understanding, novice understanding of feminism, it's all lesbianism. It's all homosexuality, lesbianism, and misandry. I mean, what else do you want? You have all the rights. The people in the highest office across the planet are women. You have women prime ministers. You have a Supreme Court justice. There's, the mayors of the largest cities, corporate heads. You have all the rights you want. You get all the money you want. It's still not good enough. What is it? It's access to other women, and it's also misandry. They want power over men. That's what I see. But Hybrid Vigor can explain a lot of that. Well, my dad was purebred, multiracial Louisiana Creole. So if they want to go with that daddy seed argument, I'll tell them that. But watch, yeah. Well, they move the goalposts always, is what it is, right? They always move the goalposts. It's always some new criteria you have to fulfill. I haven't even got into Umar. I understand what they say that everyone is whatever race their father is, but they always switch it, man. That a lot of that, the seed of your father is religious babble. So especially the religious blacks will push that. Hebrew Israelites, Moors, Nuwapians, all the religious pro-wax, particularly, will push that. You're the seed of your father, but they flip flop, they switch. Um, they move the goalposts to fit their agenda. That's how you know they're the ones who are confused. Okay, the confused Negro. Well, they'll call you a tragic mulatto. I say, well, you're a tragic Negro, right? You guys got to eventually start to grow some balls. I'm speaking to the men now, and start to challenge the rhetoric. The reason why I decided to create, well, I've had the channel, but why I decided to kind of brand it in this way and upload content was like, you guys got to challenge the foolishness. It's getting way too out of hand. As the comment I read earlier, these people are way too bold to throw us under the bus and make these claims without any repercussions. Because like a lot, even on YouTube, a lot of these mulattoes are uh, are wimps. The men I'm speaking about. Today they're a mulatto, tomorrow they're something else. They can't stand firm, you know. And I'm not impressed by it, to be honest with you. Just want to fit in and get along with the community talk. Have fun. Don't come back to me crying. The mother, I think, teaches the father's culture, mostly, but in traditional families, the father oversaw what the kids were learning too. Okay. If they want to go with the mommy gives culture argument, my mom doesn't even like black men and uses her ability to pass as Latina to blend in with Hispanic. She was going to marry a Cuban. Yeah. Men aren't supposed to marry women who don't share their culture, morals, views, and beliefs because the women you marry, she will teach your kids her ideas. Yeah. Okay. Just gonna kind of skip a few. I gotta get to the Umar thing. We're already like 45 minutes in. Umar said mixed procreation is a form of exterminate. Yeah, yeah, he's an extremist. Umar Johnson, he's pretty diplomatic. He's articulate and calculated with his speech, but at the end of the day, he's a black identity extremist. And he said a lot of things that kind of got him kicked off platforms and stuff as well. So he said Obama looked nothing like his dad, then said we are the original seed. Yeah, yeah, it's that black supremacist, which he is. He's publicly stated that. So yeah, he appeals to the baby mama crowd. Um, he appeals to the baby mama crowd, basically, vulnerable single mothers who are looking for direction. So he kind of takes advantage of that market. Was he like a Yeah, we'll get into that. They're always talking about mixed people's hair, but spend money on racist Asians' hair, making them rich. I would never glue or relax my head to death to wear. Yeah, yeah. The hair, because obviously I'm a man, so the issues. I'm bald too, so the issues that pertain to me that I focused on are a little different. But the hair situation, I've seen that for years for sure, and I like that a lot of the mulatto women, mixed race women, biracial hair. I saw a post I think on Instagram earlier about that. That people are celebrating that and they kind of center their discussions around that, the exceptionality and the uniqueness of the mulatto woman, right? In a specific hair that is biracial hair that other women don't have, and that I see a lot of mulatto women centering their community and their discussions based on that, and I love to see it. I support it as well, because it's uniquely you. So for sure. Let me go back to this one. Feminism is just a tool to go against any group of people that have positive culture and traditional values. Basically, yeah. Homonormative. Homonormative. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Anything that's traditional, anything that's positive values, you got to just basically systematically break it down. Yeah. Dad and sisters were the first to marry non Creole. My mom is still mulatto, but she's not from this state. Cool. All right, guys, I'm going to get into the clip, but I'm going to take because I've been speaking for a minute. I will be back. Let me do this for a second. All right, guys, I'm back. I'm back. Let me see what we got here. So Umar went in so hard on Steady. He's not even directly mixed calling them. Yeah, it's funny. That whole Steady clip, I followed that. It's funny because after, Umar had that outburst, um, like a few months later, I actually met Umar at a conference in Long Beach. He was funny, man. I could tell he looked a little suspicious too, or he looked at me with suspicion because he's a pro whack. What do you expect? They wish they were me, and he's publicly said that. There's a clip of him at a lecture, basically saying the first thing that a black man thinks when he sees a mixed race person is, "I wish I was him." Of course, I mean, you guys definitely act like it. Like I say, I'm an American, okay? So with white men, not all, but a lot, what I sense with them is fear when they see me, which it's unfortunate, but it's the truth. With black men, not all, but a lot of them, when what I sense when they see me is jealousy, you know, jealousy. So the key thing is, like I said, with white men, not all, I'm saying, but there's a lot, there's fear when they see a guy like me. But then with black men, it's not fear, it's jealousy, straight up jealousy. You got guys that are way taller than me. I have experiences like I was at like a Chinese restaurant one time to pick up my takeout food and bounce. And this dude walked in there, he dark skinned. He looked like he was an ex-football player. He was huge. He was like probably like 6'6" or whatever, all swole and shit. But I was like, yeah, this Negro was purely jealous. Like he was looking at me. I think he made a little slick comment with his buddy there. I was like, what a punk, man. I could tell he was jealous. I've had some other situations like that as well. But yeah, it's just straight up jealousy. Straight up jealousy. What are you gonna do, man? Well, what I can do is I can voice my opinion and I can share with you guys. So here we go. I'm gonna share this Umar clip right here. Get into this now. As a disclaimer, this clip has been shared before, okay, within kind of these so-called mixed race spaces, right? That basically, from what I'm seeing, they cater to the monoracial sensibility. That's why people like me, are met with a lot of kind of hostility. Because what I've started to realize that a lot like the so-called mixed race spaces, either they're pro-black or they're pro-homosexual. And I realized, well, look, I don't fit into any of that stuff. So I got to have my own space, a mulatto space that focuses on the straight conservative perspective, men and women. And so, but this clip has already been shared before. And there was some people who gave commentary on it. I believe Hybrid Vigor. I believe I think even Angry Biracial. Sad to say, but I think he actually commented or reviewed this video, but there's another clip that came out that Umar did a few weeks ago. I'm going to share that one after this one. I wanted to briefly get into this one because I didn't get to comment on it at that time. This was several months ago, I believe 5 or 6 months ago. I was just in the comment section, watching you guys, give your commentary on it. But I've met the man. I've met Umar, so I think I definitely have authority to speak on this, since I've have firsthand knowledge. So let's go into a little bit of this. This is only 15 minutes. Try to buzz through it and then go into the next clip. Then you guys will be on your day, right? Or your evening.
Have one non-African parent, you are.
So the title is "We Need to Talk Mixed Race Black People." Are they black if they're mixed? That's the first question I'd ask.
A mixed race African, I need to holler at you. You have one African parent and you have a non-African parent. You have an African parent and you have a non-African parent. This is what I want to say to you. My mixed race Africans, I need you to understand. You have to claim your identity before anybody else will respect it.
Yeah, and I'm claiming my identity. My identity is a mulatto. Mulatto, which is the wholeness being one, the fusion between the European and African. To someone like him, it wouldn't make sense. I don't expect it to make sense to someone like him giving this presentation lecture in his car. He's got a baby mama that, he barely sees his kid. I think he has a couple baby mamas and he's recently just married. He has two wives. I don't expect and his father doesn't even like him, or he doesn't like his father. He has a lot of issues like his parents and his baby mamas, etc. So he doesn't have an intact African family. But he's preaching to all the ghetto pro-wax out there about black family and all this shit. 80% out of wedlock birth rates, the highest divorce rates. You can't make this shit up. But this is your preacher. This is your guy you're gonna listen to and get advice from, right? And he's gonna preach to the mixed race people like myself who actually have good relationships with all people. I try my best as a professional, in the field and even within my family. Obviously, there's some people in my family that I'm probably not on the best of terms with, but I think for the most part, it's pretty good. It's a hell of a lot better than a lot of people I've seen and talked to who are less fortunate based on their situation. But let me continue.
You have to know who you are.
I know who I am. I know exactly who I am. I am a American mulatto man. The thing is with this guy, he just wants us to claim black so we can use our ass, so we can fight their battles. Now he wants to push the men like me to the side. So we got to serve him and continuously prove ourselves, prove to be black. So we got to do all the heavy lifting, like Frederick Douglass. He named his school after Frederick Douglass, right? I think it's called FDMG, the initials on his cap, which is Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. So he's got a mulatto the name of a mulatto on his hat. So he needs the men like me. Because we've been fighting for these people, for centuries. So they need us, but they want to use us to fight their battles. Like I'm telling you, we don't get equal access or full access, I should say. But he mainly wants the women. I think he married a mulatto woman. So for the men, they like these pro whacks like him. He mainly wants the women, right? There's another clip in the future I'll share about that. And then the women, the pro whack women, I don't necessarily see it that they want the mulatto men. I think that because it's a matriarchy. Okay, the communita, the black communita in America is a matriarchy. So the men are there to serve the women, and the women dictate. And look at how successful they are, right? So yeah, let me continue on.
The problem with some mixed race Africans is you are uncomfortable about your identity. You haven't made up your mind yet as to whether or not you want to live as a biracial. You haven't made up your mind if you want to live as an undercover white person.
An undercover white person, or live your life as a biracial. I don't know if I'm gonna play this whole clip because this is extremely annoying and this has already been played before. I'm gonna play a little bit and continue on and then get into the main meat of the matter, the other clip that was released a few weeks ago. Because this guy, I mean, shit. So I was sympathetic. Now, what I'll say about Umar, because I did have some kind of opening statements. I think he's sincere about black people. I think he does love black people. He likes his identity being black, but obviously he's kind of all over the place, right? Like I said, he doesn't even get along with his own father. He has baby mamas. So the very common pathologies you find within the community, he exemplifies those. And he's extremely vocal, sitting in his car, preaching to the pro whack community. Yeah, he's a great leader, I guess. But what I can say is I think he's sincere. That's one of the reasons that attracted me to him, to listening to his lectures and kind of the energy he presents, because I can tell he's sincere that he likes being black. He's been to Africa several times. He likes being black, which is a good thing, good quality. I like being partially black as well. I have African ancestry. I've been to Ghana, and I do like myself. But I think how we kind of express it is different. I wasn't gonna get into that opening statement. So I think he's sincere. You know, his philosophy is extremely outdated. Okay, especially as it pertains to mulatto people and mixed race people, because this rhetoric he's talking about, pick a side, because he's gonna say that in this presentation, this video. You need to pick a side. You need to pick the blacks. If you don't pick the blacks, well, then I don't even want to talk to you. Well, then it's like, wait, fuck you. And more people like me, I've met you, okay? More and more mulatto people, mixed race people, they're gonna give you the finger and say, fuck you, have a good day. The Asians aren't gonna help your ass. The Arabic people aren't gonna help your ass. The Latino people who are growing in numbers, they're not gonna help your ass. Okay, we're all you got. So you got to get in line with us. That's how it is, right? So of course it says what I'm gonna say right now is that we have the mic now. Okay, a lot of, like I told you, you go on YouTube and TikTok. I salute a lot of the Generation Z. I'm a millennial, so the Z's, I salute them because a lot of them are speaking up and they're not afraid. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose because you get hate from all sides, right? You're gonna get hate from all sides. You get hate from the white community. You're gonna get hate from the community. They hate themselves. Then you're gonna get hate from a lot of the Latinos and other communities. So you have nothing to lose. What do you have to lose? Have some dignity and pride in yourself. And what I do with my channel specifically is sharing the history, digging into the history, presenting it in a way that's digestible to the public to look at. Look, you have a frame of reference to kind of draw from. You have something to be proud of. You have a history. You have an identity. You have something that is a reference point. So that's basically not only for myself, but for all of you guys. So we have the mic now, and it's our responsibility to let everybody know that we're going to speak for ourselves. Instead of you speaking for us and telling us who we are and how we should pick a side, we're going to tell you who we are and what side we pick. And of course, the side we pick is our side. We pick ourselves. This is a third option. This is essentially my pitch to the public. This is a third option. You want to dance around and hang around and, that's fine. But this is the third option. So, and our experiences are extremely different from the monoracial community, right? We don't have the same experiences. Obviously, vice versa. They don't have our experiences. We can speak for ourselves. We can speak for ourselves, and that's what we're doing right now. So,
You don't know what you want to be. Once you have come to the realization, once you have come into the consciousness that you are a black man or a black woman, and you affirm that, the world will respond to you based on your foundation. You have to stand first in order for the world to sit down. When I hear mixed race Africans say, Dr. Umar, I'm not sure, that's okay. It's okay to go through some confusion. Okay? But in order to come out of that confusion, you have to make up your mind. It's okay to go through some confusion. But in order to come out of that confusion, you have to make up your mind.
it's okay to go through some confusion. He repeats himself a lot, right? It's okay to go through some confusion, but at the end of the day, you got to make up your mind. And how are you going to make up your mind? Choose them, side with them, give your money and resources to them. Mainly what it is not even money and resources. It's sexual access. Like I said, he's pleading to the mulatto women. He married one, you know. Oh yeah, just like Tariq Fraud Sheed, Phil Advise Show, he's married a Mexican woman. All your favorite pro wax married to non-black women. I'm not surprised. Like I said, you come to find out that you've been scammed, you're being used for an agenda. See, and it's all projection. All the pro wax will say, "The mulattoes, you're an agenda working for the white man." But secretly, they have an agenda for you. You guys are going to wake up and smell the coffee eventually. Professor Griff married a mulatta. Tariq Fraud Sheed married a mulatta. Dr. Umar Johnson married a mulatta.
And say, I'm going to live my life as an African.
So they want sexual access. Let me the final note on that. They want sexual access. Like I said, mainly for the men. They want access to the mulatto women. Um, like I said, the women, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Because I'm not a woman, I can't really speak on that. I don't have the insider knowledge. When you look at like the advocacy kind of efforts, like the Black Lesbian Matters, a lot of them, obviously they're homosexual women, so they want relationships with other women. Um, I don't know. I can't speak for all. So I shouldn't even go there. But
African. And the reason why so many of my mixed race African brothers and sisters, because let me say this, I accept all of you who accept your Africanity, your African DNA, your African ancestors, your African heritage. If you identify as being an African, I have no problem with you. If you identify as being an African, I have no problem.
well, that's him. I hate how he repeats himself over and over. That's him. He doesn't have a problem with it. If we fully identify as being African, the issue is he talks about in this clip, but I don't want to play the whole damn clip because I already got the other one to go through. But that's him. He doesn't have a problem with it. But a lot of these blacks, especially the ghetto contingent, which are his audience, because he's pleading to the bottom dwellers, right? The people at the bottom, the ghetto pookies who want to polish up their image. They want to stop, they switch from being SoundCloud rappers and little, Instagram people. They switch from that, the hood. That's what you have with a lot of the pro wax. They're basically polished pookies. And a lot of the pro act men are the polished pookies who are finding a new hustle, which is the race grift. So they start smoking blunts and lighting incense and sage, and now they're pro wax. And then the women, a lot of times they're divestors or they're ex divestors who they didn't have success with Brad. They didn't have success with the white man. They got thrown around ghetto gaggers over there. So they come back to the communita, you know, and they change up their tune, start lighting incense, burning sage, wearing head wraps, and now they're conscious queens. So it's a whole fucking mess. And they want us to get into that mess. I'm good, man. I'm good. I can see where it's going. You guys aren't winning. You guys are losing bad out here. And they want mulattoes and biracials to lose with them. What do they call that? There's a concept. It's called crabs in a barrel, crabs in a bucket, whatever you want to put it. Um, We do know who we are, Umar. He said if we claim biracial, he wants nothing to do with us, of course. But if we say mixed race African, he can tolerate that. Like there's such a difference. Yeah, because the pro wax are the confused ones, and it's the projection. They want to say you're confused. It's the same thing with the whole working for the white man. You know, they're the ones. Literally, they all work for white. He got his education from white men. He got his college degree from white men. He's literally working for white men. But then they'll turn around and say, "Well, I don't trust you biracials." It's all con game, man. I mean, even when you go to the continent, you'll find people, just everyday people, they're trying to con you and scam you. It's just business as usual. That is the culture of scamming people, conning people to get what you want. There is no solidified code of conduct like you have with these other groups. Within the Asian demographic, they have the kind of Confucianism theory in place. They have strong moral values. We talk about ethics. They respect their elders. They have a code of conduct. They do business with each other first. They seek out their own to do business. They hire their own. They consolidate resources, the Europeans as well. Every demographic, you get to these people, they're scamming each other, robbing each other. But it's the mulatto's fault. The mulatto's working for the white man. So it says they want us to claim black so they can feel better dating mixed people. Yeah, yeah. So they can say, well, it's not interracial. It's not interracial relationship. It's well, she's black too. That's what Tariq Fraud Sheed does. He married a mulatto woman, and he's the kingpin of all the FBA pro wax. That's his whole platform. He married a mulatto woman. He's got a. I mean, you cannot make this shit up, man. When I was examining a lot of this stuff, I realized, why am I watching this content? Why am I reviewing this material? This is like not healthy for someone like me. This fraudster is literally married to a mulatto woman trying to preach this, purity with black people and all this shit. And he's laying in bed with him. You cannot make this shit up. Laying in bed with a mulatto, but talking about keeping black people pure. We're FBA. We're pro wax. Yeah, I heard a black man say, if we fully claim black, we have white parent privilege to think we can be speaking for leading black people and advocacy for them. That's what Umar doesn't realize and care or realize about. Yeah. So he's said he's personally might be cool if we claim mixed race African, but I'm telling you, the bottom dwellers, the ghetto hood boogers, and the other pro whacks who serve whites at their job, they're not going to be happy with that. They're going to be mad because you were light skinned, you got privilege. So those are the ones who are going to run their mouth and look at you with suspicion and stuff. I've seen it. I was there, man. I was at the conference with him, a few other pro whacks. Well, the whole house was pro whacks, but I was received pretty nice. Black lady. Actually, I invited a black lady there, and there was a few other elder black ladies there, pretty nice, I'd say. But maybe, like I said, for me as a man, it was the younger black man. I think he was a Panther or some shit. He was part of the security detail. He kind of looked at me a little funny. And some other character looked at me funny, but a lot of people were nice. But it was mainly a few of the men. I already know, like I said, these savages, a lot of them are they're just jealous. It is what it is. I'm not, I don't know. What do you want me to do? It's not my fault. Your mama didn't raise you right, and you're jealous because I'm light skinned. I mean, go talk to your mama, man. That's not my fault. So the top guaranteed insults towards us is confused. Yeah, we're the confused ones. Yeah, it's all projection. Um, okay, I'm a lot of comments, but I'm gonna continue on and move on. They need mulattoes because their numbers are declining and mulatto numbers are growing. Thank you so much. And the numbers, the statistics, the data shows it. We shared some information behind the scenes about that. Their numbers are declining, okay? Because they are, the whole SYSBM passport bros movement and the whole divestment movement is in full swing. And do you think this generation now, you just give it in about a decade or 10 years? That's why, like I said, my platform is for the younger people. And I'm young myself, I'm in my early 30s. I'm still young, but we got to have some type of framework and foundation now so that the people coming up behind us, they have something they can walk into. They have some type of kind of frame of reference they can draw from and learn from. Hopefully they'll do it better than me. I'm not the most articulate, well-spoken individual or research person here, I'm just a guy with the internet connection, a microphone, and some balls to speak to you guys because I already know a lot of you mulattoes are fucking scaredy cats. You don't want to call a spade a spade. You want to go along to get along because you got a majority black audience. You want to get your clicks and views and subscribers. Have a good day. Have fun. But the younger people, they're going to be the ones to decide. Like I said, their numbers are declining. Okay, mulatto numbers are growing. That's globally as well. Other demographics are growing. So they need to claim us because they need that political influence and social capital. But they want to use us as their punching bag, right? Yeah, same comment for sure. What he is doing is the opposite of self-love because a person that loves their race wouldn't want people different exactly to LARP them. Yeah, a lot of confusion with them. White statistics are counted on US Census with Hispanic, of course, because they are the kind of population that's granted a simulation more than any other demographic. Like even, yeah, you'll notice that in certain states you're in, you look at the white numbers and the Hispanic numbers are both calculated within the same bracket. So about 99% of every Hispanic in the United States of America at the state level government documents, they check white. Um, and then at the federal, if they choose to, they can check Hispanic. But it's done that way for a reason. They're calculated within the white statistics because of a simulation policy. Black statistics are counted on the U.S. Census with mulatto. Black American population numbers are in decline, of course, yeah, because you look at the numbers of the black statistics, around 13%. I think the numbers we reviewed earlier, like I was mentioned, a lot of mulattoes, even though they don't want to claim mulatto, they can claim whatever the hell they want. But a lot of us, we are calculated within that black stat numbers, right? What was I gonna add on that? Let me continue on a little bit.
I'm with you. Now, if you're going to say you're mixed race and multiracial, I don't want to be bothered with you. I don't have time for that because you're mixed up.
He doesn't have time for a guy like me, man. I love it because you're mixed up. If you're multiracial, I don't want to bother. I don't want to deal. He doesn't want to deal with me, even though I met the guy. I only got to claim black. Yeah, I love it. This is great. Okay, fine. I love it though because now we know. It's like Malcolm X said. I have more respect for a man who lets me know where I stand. That one who, instead of one who pretends to be an angel but is nothing but a devil. Now, that was Malcolm X talking about white liberals in the 1960s. But I'm taking those words in reference to the pro-wax. Like, I rather you let me know where I stand. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that we're all, we are family, like we're all the same and all this shit. I want to know where I stand moving forward. Then I can strategize and it's a better situation for me. I'm not going to play the game, not anymore.
I can't go into battle with a mixed up Negro.
And who are you going to go to battle with? Your own folks. Because remember, it was a black woman, his own kinfolk, who petitioned one of the courts to like review his certs, one of his like for his certification or licensure, I should say, his state licensure in Pennsylvania to practice as a psychologist. It was a black woman who called the board, the the psychological association. I don't know what board they have out there in Pennsylvania, but it was a black woman who basically ratted on his ass to kind of de-license him. And it was a black woman. That's why I put in the thumbnail about smashing yo cookies because she had a private DM with him. He was going back and forth. He was taking those donation funds and going to the strip club, hooking up with the conscious stripper, trying to smash the cookies. And it was a black woman. I mean, and his black baby mama. I mean, you can't make this shit up. To me, this is kind of entertainment value. Like, I know I did a poll earlier. I basically was like, "What do you guys like? You guys want obviously the channel centered around mulatto history, kind of forming our community, letting our voices be heard, but also we gotta kind of spicing up some things as well. I do my best as a host. Obviously, I'm a brand new content creator, 6 months, but I'm learning. But I think this is good material. Most of the people you guys voted for this type of enter the pro whack zone, as I call it, like the Twilight Zone, because you can't make this shit up. It's like it's written out of a B movie or something. The guy, it's black women, his baby mamas, okay, they done him in. I don't even he doesn't even get along with his dad, okay? And then it was a black woman who took him to court or who snitched on him to have them revoke his license to practice. And it was a black stripper he hooked up with who ratted him out. So it's his own people who are doing him dirty. But here he's talking about us mulattoes. I don't trust you if you identify as mixed. I'm trying to go into battle. Like, this isn't the 1960s. This isn't the 1970s. That was that generation. As I talk with J4 conversations, we call that the generational nuance. Okay, that was after kind of the civil rights bills, the anti-miscegenation laws, and a lot of the rioting they had at that time. I don't know what I think they call it the turbulent 60s, if I'm not mistaken. Different era, but he's still Dr. Umar. He still has this kind of nationalistic stance where he's a speaker talking about going into battle. He's sitting in his car in a civilized nation. He's in America, privileged. And like I said, he's a suck butt and he kiss butt for whites, like most of them are. Most all your blacks, they just want acceptance from whites. So he's a kiss butt, loves white people, but he'll get on camera and he'll tell all the mixed race people, I'm trying to go to battle. I don't trust you. I can't go to battle if you don't identify with blacks. I mean, get a fucking life, man. Those days are over. And you have people like me who are here to tell you, right? Those days are over, man. I'm just one guy with a computer, internet access, and a microphone. I'm telling you, man, these Z's and the people coming up after them, they're gonna be laughing at you people. I mean, this is an older cat. I think he's an Xer. He's in his 40s, I believe. But you got to change up your tune and strategize. You're gonna have to work with us because we're laughing at you. Nobody else gives a fuck about you. You think the growing number of Latinos are gonna help you and be on your side? Good luck, boy. Good luck. The Asian people, they already got stuff figured out. They already have business contracts and alliances. They're good. All the other nations around the planet, they're good. You're the only one left without a home. And that's why he's traveling all over Africa to try to find answers. They're probably trying to scam his ass as well. That's why they developed the whole FBA kind of situation, which I don't think he's a part of. He's more of the Pan African philosophy, but it's a whole mess. It's a whole mess. And there was someone who put a comment in someone's channel talking about it's best that these mixed race people they need to join FBA. They'd be smart if they did that. And I basically told them, well, who wants to join the losing team? I put that before, and not only on YouTube but on like Facebook. And some guy said, "You sound like a white supremacist," and I'm like, "Okay, thank you." And he just blocked me. Okay, bitch, whatever. Like that, those little words, you want to make racist statements to mulattoes, right? And mixed race people. You want to make your little racist statements, and we clap back. Like, then what? You're gonna call me racist? It's like, well, mano y mano. What goes around comes around. It's a new day today. It's a new day, right? And my voice is out here being used to inspire the younger generation to stop being punks, to speak up.
I didn't say reject your white father. I didn't say reject your white mother. That is your mother. You should love her and you should honor her. That is your mother. That is your father. You should love your father. You should honor your father. That's the reason you got here. Nobody is asking the mixed race African to reject their white parent.
He's a lying sack of shit. Nobody is asking the mixed race African to reject your white parent. That's a bold-faced lie. Many of them do. The irritated genie, who's one of the biggest anti-mulattoes, out there, who's vocal. They're literally verbatim out their mouth will say, "You got to reject your white parent, or I don't trust you. You ain't really down with us. Fuck you. I ain't down with you. You losing anyways." They will literally publicly say that. You got to reject. So he's lying. I mean, let me get this right here. So it says, to be fair, his idea is to absorb us. Yeah, he is more diplomatic. He's more strategic. He's like, yeah, you're competitive, but see, his strategy to deal with us with the mulatto problem is to absorb us. And like I said, with the men, he wants the men to fight for his ass and to serve him so we could be down for the community. And of course, you don't get shit in return. It's just a joke. No businesses, no resources or wealth there. For him, he's pleading to the women. He wants sexual access to the women so we can have the women. It's like a Michi X. And you have the ghetto hood boogers, the ghetto grandma and multiracial bowel movement. They're kind of part of that as well, right? They get knocked up by Pookie. They have Pookie's kids, so now they're stuck in the community, right? And that's basically what their whole platform is. They basically are just trying to fight for their space, their spot in the community. Yeah, that's what they want. They have nowhere else to go. White people aren't going to try. They don't want anything to do with them. No other group does. Even mulattoes don't want shit to do with them. That's why we created our own sector, our own space, the mulatto sphere. It's like we're done with the ghetto hoodbooker foolishness. If you want to be absorbed, you want to have your place over there, have fun. Have fun being a baby mama on welfare. I mean, that's the extreme element. I'm not saying all, not to be, slanderous. But for those two individuals I'm speaking of, but the whole point is to absorb us for sure. For this guy's position, he wants to. That's a way to neutralize us, so we're not a threat. Because he is just like pretty much all the pro-wax, black nationalists, black identity extremists. They follow Chancellor Williams, the destruction of black civilization. So they push the conspiracy theory that we are a buffer class for the white supremacist social structure. So he wants to because they don't want us to be a competitive group. That's why you have people like the future is golden, or from the future is feminist. That's where the name comes from. The future is female, future is feminist, future is golden, whatever. Where basically she is against the word mulatto. She doesn't like that word. She prefers mixed. Like I said, it's innocuous, meaning it's non-threatening. She doesn't like the word mulatto because it ties us to the history of mulatto, where a lot of us, we outperformed. We outperformed the black community. We have higher standards. Obviously, a lot of us were educated. They created the HBCUs for mulatto people, because all the HBCUs were named after white people. Howard, Spelman, all these schools are named after white men. And it was the slave ownership class, their offspring, their mulatto children, who were educated at these schools in medicine and law, etc., to essentially be the overclass of the community in the United States of America. So a lot of us have been given a lot of privileges, I should say, as a position as overclass. And so they don't want the mulatto designation to reemerge again, because they feel like we will be above them, right? So they want to keep us in the bucket, perpetually losing. We get nothing in return. So you're talking about the communitas standards. The communitas standards means everyone has to date black people. I think that's what you're kind of referring to there. Yeah, I think that sounds about right, right? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, except for Phil Advice Show. Right? Phil Advice Show has one of the largest kind of media on YouTube, media platforms. That's black specific. All of his talking points, every subject is black specific. He's married to a Latina, and it's interesting how he was able to kind of navigate that, be a major black voice, but he's married to a Mexican woman, right? Phil Advice Show. Yeah. I saw a pro-black say, if we make the biracials procreate with FBA, then we can wipe white people out, trying to decide for us what the fuck we're gonna do. Yeah, like, because see that right there, DC is a clear, like, observation right there of that there's an agenda at stake. They'll literally publicly say this in social media. They have an agenda for us, even the blacks. See, it's funny because like I said, it's all projection. They'll point the finger at us and say, we're working with the white men to, undermine them. But they'll publicly make claims about using biracials, like the divestors. The divestors talk about using the biracials with black moms, for their agenda. They all are scheming. They got an agenda. See, it's okay for them, the pro-wax. It's okay for them to have an agenda. That's okay. But if we have an agenda, if we want to protect ourselves and our sovereignty, all of a sudden, hey, you can't do that. You can't think for yourself and have your own identity. Like Umar said, you know, well, I don't want to deal with you. It's funny because white people were once called the N word along with other races. So people telling black people to stop saying N word is more reasonable than them asking us to not say mulatto. Yeah. 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 The people who don't like the word mulatto are, homosexual people or same sex attracted, and then blacks. Like I said, like you said, in the future is golden. Doesn't like the word mulatto because she's same-sex attracted, she's a feminist, and she's pro-black. So she's a pro-black feminist, and so she doesn't want us to use that word mulatto because she's serving blacks, right? And so in her eyes, and she publicly stated that. She tried to deny it, but she publicly stated that in the stream that if we were to use the word mulatto as a group, we would be above blacks. So she doesn't give a fuck about our group. That's why I don't associate with her. I'm not in her space. That's why me and Hybrid Vigor and all of you beautiful people, mulatto people in the chat, we have our own space. We're not associating with that foolishness. We are pro mulatto over here. If you're pro black, that's fine. I mean, like I said, the reason why I like Umar uh initially, is because he's pro black. I just don't, the conspiracies, the shit he's pulling right here, it's gonna be challenged. Let me continue on right here. It says, I've not ever rejected my people. I'm not uh ever rejecting my people. I'm mixed race and I've accepted being black, white, mulatto. Exactly. We come into that acceptance, so we're not like confused about any of that, right? They brag about erasing whites when they're dominant genetics, but don't like us, the offspring, that carries that out. Yeah, because they look at us as sexual competition because we look good. I mean, for me, I find the most attractive women are mulatto women. For me, we look good. I don't know what else to say. So yeah, they look at us as competition in a sexual marketplace. I've said this before as well. Like when we're younger, we're cute, blah blah blah. We're seen as being, non-threatening or not an issue. They want to like parade us around. Look at my mixed race child and all this stuff. But when we become adults, full functional adults, all of a sudden we're competition in the workforce. We're competition for jobs, for resources. The number one thing they cry about is for social acceptability, is because we're selected for casting roles in Hollywood. That's what they really whine and cry about. Oh, they picked a light-skinned, ambiguous woman to play Nina Simone. They picked The Rock because he's mixed. They don't want to get a real black man. Remember I shared that video a couple weeks ago when they selected Obama to be president, that pro-whack was like, man, they would have never selected Wesley Snipes to be in there. That's why they picked the mulatto in there. You see that? That's how all these pro-whacks are. Oh yeah, they're jealous of you. They're jealous of you because massa is gonna choose you over them. So, oh, they big mad, they big jealous, right? Oh yeah, we know the game. We know the game. We're just calling their ass out now. It's been long overdue. Like I said, I kind of been quiet. I've been really quiet for several years, just analyzing this, thinking of like, wait, where's the end goal to this? I bought all of Dr. Claude Anderson's books. I read his books. I've been to some business conferences. Where's the end goal? You guys continuously give your money to these other demographics and you whine and cry while you're broke, why nobody likes your ass, why white people don't like your ass. You don't even like yourself. I'm going to continue on because
No one is asking the mixed race African to reject your parents.
Grammar corrections are only helpful.
yeah, he repeats himself a lot. So obviously I don't have a premium YouTube, so I got these ads. Um, I don't like how he repeats
Mixed
himself a
race
lot.
African to reject your parent. We're not telling you to do that. Okay? You have a non-African parent, whether they
I already went through that. He's full of shit because a lot of these pro whacks do. Let me fast forward.
once you make your white aunts and uncles, once you make your white nieces and nephews, once you make your white grandparents understand that I'm a black man, I'm a black woman, and you're going to respect me as such, you will not have trouble.
I think this is very fitting for me to talk to this about with you guys. Like I said, because I have a lot of knowledge, I guess you can say expertise in this area, because I've met a lot of these people firsthand. Handshake, photo op, picture taken. I've been around the block, okay, in Los Angeles, California. I've traveled this country, I've been to Africa, etc. So I have firsthand knowledge with a lot of this stuff. Read a lot of books. Even before I started attending college, I'd go to the public library and rent books, W. Du Bois, Marcus Garvey. I just wanted to read George Jackson. My whole way, my access to blackness, so to speak, was through academia, was through, stronger militant black men like Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton, etc., George Jackson. So in Marcus Garvey, I'd read these books and use that as an example, go to different conferences, meet people, talk to people. That was my expression. But after you start, rubbing elbows and bumping shoulders, talking to people, you realize, A lot of these people, man, they're pushing conspiracy theories. At the core of it all is they hate themselves. They're jealous of us. They are jealous of mulatto people and they hate themselves. And they come up with extremely elaborate conspiracy theories to try to reason out why they're in the position they are in and that, the white man is doing this and that. Focus on yourself and your own community. This guy right here. Okay. Focus on your own community. Focus on these people killing each other for, whatever it is, just to come up. Focus on your relationship with your baby mama. Focus on your own relationship with your father. You don't even like your father. He doesn't even get along with his own fucking father. Doesn't even get along with his own baby mama. But he wants to sit here. He has the balls to tell mixed race people, you got to pick a side. You got to side with the blacks. Side with you? Doesn't even get along with his own father, his own baby mama, his own people are calling him a scammer because he hasn't built the school yet. You can't make this shit up. See, I'm in a position now where it's like, man, when I was in my early 20s, mid 20s, yeah, you have energy, you're trying to find answers, but after you got boots in the ground, you travel around a lot, talk to people and stuff, you realize I'm wasting my fucking time. This is, yeah.
From black folks. You have to own it. If you walk into a room insecure, black folks who got a problem with mixed race Africans are going.
Those numbers are growing. He said black folks that have a problem with mixed race Africans, those numbers are growing now. You think it's because of people like me? Really? Okay. Whatever. I'm actually probably the nicer ones. I'm one of the nice ones. It's funny because, I mean, let me continue on. Yeah.
To eat that up. You got to step into that room with pride, my mixed race Africans. You got to step into the room with pride, my light skinned Africans, my green eye Africans, my straight hair Africans. Stop being insecure around black folks. Let them know.
It's funny because he frames it that we're insecure around black people. Now, my question to you, beautiful people, mulatto people in the chat, I believe it's the other way around. My question to you is, do you think it's the other way around? Do you think it's mixed race people? Because I've said before, we're extremely adaptable as mulatto people. We're extremely versatile. I've been in the same room with this guy, all black people. It's got to be like 300 black people, very comfortable. But because I brought a lady there with me, black woman, so it's like I got along really great. They have a circle. I forgot the name of the circle. They have kind of an African tradition where you all hold hands in a circle and you give kind of um, you say a good word or something like that. I don't know. What I'm saying is I felt extremely comfortable. So my question to you guys is, do you think it's the other way around, right? What do you think? Do you think it's mixed race people that feel uncomfortable around all these blacks, or is it the other way around? Do all these blacks, not all, but a lot of them, do they feel uncomfortable with a mixed race person who's in their space because they see, oh, competition. Oh, like if you're a woman, for the women listening, you're an all black female group, a space, and you walk in there and you're the pretty mulatto woman with the good hair. You got the nice hair, nice fair skin, right? So is it you that's uncomfortable around them, or is it a lot of them that's uncomfortable around you, looking like competition? Same thing as me as a man. I walk into these spaces, I know I can see some of these pookies, some of these little wannabe pro whack pookies who can't articulate themselves. They don't have a command. They can't command the English language. They can only express themselves through violence and aggression. They can't express themselves through intellect and having a discussion. So very one-dimensional. So I feel like it's the other way around. They are insecure about us and our presence. They see us there, the fusion between European and African, the mulatto individual. They're like, oh, I can't compete with this person. This person, white people are more comfortable with him. He gets along with white people, and they know, even in their mind instinctively, a lot of black people will feel more comfortable with us than even their own kinfolk. That's a sad reality. I shared a story before with another content creator when I was in Ghana about being served a beer at one of the hotel bars. They served me, and then like a minute later, my teacher, my professor, who's very dark skinned, came in to buy a beer, and they didn't serve him. These are all dark skinned African people, so they were comfortable. I had a dashiki on and everything, This is on the continent, the motherland. They serve me. And as soon as he walked in, they didn't even serve him. So I think, we get treated good amongst their own people. And I think that's why a lot of them are not comfortable with us. It's not just because white people are more comfortable with us. It's because a lot of other black people, they have a term, the divestors, they call the women the preferences, right? See, that's where the issue is that jealousy component, because you're preferred. People prefer you. You're fair skin. That's why they call it fair, right? Fair skin. So as Umar is nothing but entertainment, I take him as serious as I do people who believe the earth is flat. They pose no immediate or long-term threat to, yeah, he's not a threat. Yeah, he's entertainment. Like I said, his strategy is to absorb mixed race mulatto people, to neutralize us, because he knows you can't compete with us. You look at the whole sports world, we already took that shit over. Okay, in football, the NFL, the NBA, the National Biracial Association, it's already ours. Okay, and then even hip hop, you know, Drake, Saweetie, Cardi B, J. Cole, the list goes on. It's already ours. It is what it is. You guys, you know, and I'm a pretty eclectic guy when it comes to music. I like a lot of like new metal and rock and classical music and jazz. So I'm all over the place as far as music. Um, but it's like it's not really competition. So black woman said, "Why do mulattoes complain about not being black enough, but never say we're not white enough?" It's because people like Umar call us black and we're expected to act as such. Exactly, because they're the confused ones. They want us to only identify as black. And then when we try to fulfill that, we try to be extra militant and extra black. Then, like I'm telling you, like you said, these black women or these ghetto people at the bottom, these bottom dwellers, they're going to be like, well, why are you trying to act black? See, that's what I'm telling you. He doesn't get that. He doesn't have the experience we have. When, yeah, for him, someone who went to a school and was educated by white people, he tells us, just be black. You'll be good. And then we're just acting black. And a lot of blacks are jealous of us. They're like, why are you acting black? You're not black like me. Yeah, they're the ones who are confused. Okay. I will always say that as long as I'm up here wholeheartedly. They are the ones who are confused. All projection. They're walking around calling themselves, you know, Moors, and they're calling themselves indigenous aboriginals. Even if you go on like Facebook and some of these other profiles, you got black people, right? Negroes with feathers in their hair calling themselves the real Indians. I mean, a lot of these people, they're fucking confused, man. It's sad. They're literally walking around saying that they are the original Hebrews. That's how confused they are. They're going to call themselves everything but black. They're going to say they're the ancient Egyptians, they're the first this and that. The original people of Russia, original people of China are black. They're going to make all these claims. They're going to call themselves everything but black, right? Now, what they're doing, because they know they're losing bad, a lot of them, they're going to say, we're all mixed. We're all the same. Let's just, I don't believe in race. It's not real. It's a social construct, right? It's just a social construct, right? While they make fun of white people, talking about how white people can't season their chicken or how white people can't dance. They're going to make all these racist statements about whites and everyone else, but then they're going to say, well, it's just a social construct, right? We're all the same. We're all mixed, right? So we're comfortable with everyone being exactly what racial classification people are. We don't tell others to deny themselves. People tell us to deny ourselves and to pick a side. That's the main thing. Thank you for saying that. We're the only people it seems like they come to tell us to deny. I'm basically like, fuck you. I don't, I'm good where I'm at. I'm a comfortable lifestyle. Here I am on a Friday evening talking to you beautiful people. I'm extremely comfortable. I'm not in any position to deny any part of me at all. I'll let the people who are stuck, who are trying to, get along, go along to get along in a community talk because they want clicks and views, have fun, that's not my situation. And it says they go from African Americans to black to FBA to indigenous to Muslim to Hebrew to Moors, but we're confused. I know. Yeah, New Wapian is like the ancient Egyptians. They call themselves Indians, Aboriginals. They call themselves African Americans, and now they're saying, well, I'm not black. I am not black. I am copper colored skin. I'm an indigenous Indian. I'm an FBA. My people are from the land here. We are not African. So these are the most confused people on the planet. Like I said, it's all projection. They'll look at us, the mulatto, mixed race person, like myself, European, African ancestry. I'm the confused one. Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah. Just click the like button and, support the show any way you can.
No, I'm just as black as you. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you roll your eyes at me. I don't need your permission to be an African. It's no different than when I go to Africa. It's no different than when I go to Africa. It's no different than when I go to Africa. There's some Africoons on the continent. Yes, I've encountered Africoons in Ghana. I've encountered Africoons in South Africa. I've encountered.
That's sad, though. He's going to a foreign land. He wants them to think like him and claim him. That's sad. I just wanted to say for a minute here, Foster, you're over in the UK, right? I mean, it's pretty late or early, however you want to see it for you, but shout out to you for being here. Definitely would like some more kind of international presence. I know we have some Canadians in here. I think mainly Americans in here, but yeah, I noticed that it's pretty late for me, but shit, it's probably really late for you.
Africoons in Nigeria.
But like I said, he's telling other people, calling them Africoons, and it's like not even his country, not even his land. Like that's the sad part. But he has this massive, like, kind of authoritarian view where he's the prince of peach cobbler, right? So he's the authority. He's gonna tell people what it is. You're going to a whole foreign land. You're gonna tell them what to think and how to act. I mean, it's amazing.
Down to Africoons in the Gambia. I've been mixed race African brothers and sisters. Listen, when you're around white folks, you tend to act like you're white. You don't see us, but you see us at the Dr. Umar lecture. You see us at the Kwanzaa. You see us at the woke events. You see us at the conscious events. But when you in the suburbs with white folks, you act like you don't know nothing about what it means to be black.
Okay, let me pause right there because I've met this Negro. Okay, so I was there at the conscious event with him, and he's basically saying when you're there with them, like he acts like he knows us, like that, like that, like that. He acts like he knows us, like he's following us, he's shadowing us. You hear what he just said? When you're there in the suburbs, you act like you don't know us. All projection, all projection. I saw this Negro in Long Beach, and then of course I went up to Orange County, the suburbs, like he's talking about. With all them white folks, you act like you don't know us. Nah, it's all fucking hogwash. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. What made me wake up and realize is I ruined a lot of good relationships with white people because trying to appease, pro wax like him, trying to keep it all extra biggity biggity black and look at all whites with suspicion, and then upholding whites to a standard, challenging white supremacy, like he says, and just making enemies when it's not necessary, um, being an ass, in basic terms, being an ass, being difficult to deal with, um, for piece of shits like this in his car. Like, I don't even know you. I mean, I'm saying you're a piece of shit because, you know, not to be really disrespectful, but basically, like, you're speaking out of line here, as if you know, like, who we are. You're trying to follow us around. Like, when you're with them white folks, you don't act black like that. No, man, because here I am. I got, photographic evidence. I've met you. I was at the conference with you. And of course, I went to those suburbs with the good white folk who you love and worship. I know you do. Most of you do. And I was just as black over there. And I've ruined a lot of relationships because of it, because I was trying to keep it 100. And what did that get me? It didn't give me anything. It got me denied certain jobs. It got me denied, business relationships, etc. I mean, that's what you don't realize. A lot of mulatto people, they fuck themselves over trying to appease blacks, where they burn bridges, they ruin relationships with white people, good people in general that they could network with and have as contacts and business kind of, associates. They ruin all that shit just to keep it real, to prove that they pro whack and all this shit. You don't get nothing at the end of the day. He gets something because it's like control for him. He wants to neutralize us. He wants to absorb us. Okay. And that way he could do that with the women. So he wants the women. With the men, he wants us working for them. And it's never ending. They'll always move the goalpost. You got to prove your blackness. And how do you prove your blackness? You got to fight white people. And what do you get for it? You don't get shit. Um, yeah, gonna do a quick intermission for a second. I'll be right back. So just a couple, give me a couple minutes. All right, guys, I'm back. I apologize about that. Really do, but here we go.
Cannot be a helter-skelter Negro. Mixed race Africans, be white all the time or be black all the time. Be multicultural all the time or be unapologetically African all the time. You can't have it both ways. And that right there is the biggest challenge of the mixed race African. The biggest challenge of the mixed race African is understanding you can't have it both ways.
Yes, the hell I can. Shit. You don't have my experience. You don't live my life. I mean, the most successful so-called African Americans, a lot of them, they're mulattoes, they're mixed race in American history. The achievements are undeniable. You look at people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? He's the leading kind of public astrophysicist on the market or in the media spotlight. He has a Puerto Rican mother and a black father. He's a mixed race African. Okay, like he's talking about. These are leading people. Okay, Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The two Supreme Court justices currently on the bench, you have Clarence Thomas, okay, married a white woman, has mulatto children. Then you have Ketanji Jackson, okay, she's black, obviously, married a white man, has mulatto daughter. So they breed us. We're here now, like Kurt Cobain in Smells Like Teen Spirit. Here we are now. Entertain us. A mulatto. My, what do you say? Yeah, something like that. I forgot the lyrics of it. My libido. Yeah, some shit. I don't know. What I'm saying is that we're here. We excel to the highest office. I already mentioned about entertainment and sports, but academia. Okay. We're all over the place. So yeah, it's telling us that we gotta choose. You gotta pick a side and all this shit. Like we're choosing ourselves in today's world, today's situation. This isn't the 1960s. You're not gonna scare our ass from the evil white man when our families, a lot of us, especially the divester side, not all divestors, but a lot of who if they have white fathers, in this newer generation who are purposely doing that, they're gonna have white family. So what? And then people like me, well, I'm not gonna go against white people for you. This isn't the 60s, bro. It's a new day, 2023. This language he's using, this speech, this rhetoric, this is old world shit. He's stuck in the 60s. This guy doesn't get it, man. He's out of touch. And at the end of the clip, I'm going to fast forward because I've already been here for a minute. Damn. He's going to beg for your cash apps and donations. You can't make this shit up, man.
You're going to be black 7 days a week, 365 days a year, or you're going to be a so-called multiracial 7 days a week.
I'm not multiracial, okay? I'm a fusion between European and African. I'm the one you're jealous of. I'm the one you wish you were. And I saw it in your eyes, and I know it for a fact. I'm the mulatto, not the multiracial, biracial, you can kind of slide by, mixed race, whatever, very innocuous and ambiguous. I'm the mulatto. I'm the guy who looked you in your eyes. You wish you were me. That's who I am. So we are asserting ourselves today in this world.
365 days a year. It cannot be both. It cannot, it will not, and it must not be both. That's all I want to say. I accept you. I accept you. I ain't got no problem with mixed race brothers and sisters. You understand me? I got allies and brothers and sisters I stand in solidarity with who are mixed race. I ain't got no problem. Some of them look damn near like white folks, but guess what? They my brothers and sisters. The first color on the Marcus Garvey flag is red. Identity war of the mixed race African will be within your own family. Convincing those white supremacists you are related to that you are a black man and you're going.
You see, that's where it comes down to. We got to serve his ass. We got to serve him and we got to fight his battles for him. We got to fight the whites in our family. Fuck you, ho. You do that. That's your battle, not mine. I'm trying to get along with as many people as I can. What do I get in return? Fighting your battles. I get to claim black and be down with the community and all this shit. I mean, when I analyze people who have that type of setup, Is it paying off? Because, shit, even within the so-called golden sphere, I'm looking at these people who are, heavily black identified, with a minimal vocabulary, limited lexicon, like, Brandy the Biscuit. Yeah, she's a baby mama and she's all talking like she's black and she from the hood and all blah blah blah. I mean, is the payoff really good? I mean, I got receipts of her ass begging for cash apps. She's begging for money. I don't She's on government assistance, section 8. I don't know what the hell she's doing, but she's begging for money. And then she's gonna sit there and laugh. You a security guard who you working full time. That's funny. That's pretty funny. I'm not out here begging for money. I could tell you that shit. I'm not. I'm staying up here, almost 2 hours talking to you guys. I don't need your money. I got enough money. I'm laughing at this Negro. you know. But you're gonna have your biracials, like I said, your mulattoes who want to fit into the community and have their place. Hey, but they're out here begging for money, begging for acceptance. I accept myself. I'm good. I'm good. This is all a pretty brand new endeavor for me. I'm doing pretty damn good, especially with the people that I've been connecting with over the past several months. I have a solid team, even, looking at the mulatto sphere here on YouTube, looking at some of the people I've connected with on Facebook, etc. I'm doing just the online spaces, so to speak, not even within the real world. Some of the contacts that I have, I'm doing pretty fucking good. But I'm looking at some of these other people who are trying to fit into the community. They're struggling. They're struggling bad out here. And then they jump on YouTube for entertainment, which obviously it can be fun and stuff like that. But if all you're jumping on YouTube for is to talk shit about, certain content creators that you don't like, and you're not challenging, you're not going after the real going after the real problem, like people like this who are making conspiracy theories on you, but you want to challenge other, whatever, man.
Going to live your life as a black man, convincing those white supremacists that you are related to, that you are a black woman, and you're going to live your life as a black.
That's your best buddy right there. The multiracial bowel movement, begging for cash on YouTube. Hit up the Cash App. She needs to buy them diapers and baby formula and all that shit. Pookie ain't paying the bills, so she needs you. She needs you loyal YouTube subscribers to fit the bill, right? Yeah. It's like, man, get the fuck out of here. And then they want to they want to sit there and laugh at you for being a functional adult, working a job, paying taxes, contributing to society, meeting people at the location I'm working at. A lot of majority white people. So, meeting contacts, talking to people, building relationships. Oh no, no, no. No, you got to sit around on YouTube and have drama streams, right? Today we're dealing with Umar. We're not dealing with the ghetto hood rats over in the Golden Sphere. Not today. And what else is there to say about them, anyways? Though I mean, I'm just kind of sitting here. They have so many enemies. It's amazing. You think of like the ghetto grandma and all these other people. They have so many enemies. They jump on other people's platforms. They talk shit about everyone. I don't have really that many enemies. I mean, not that I know of. I try my best not to piss people off. Even with Dr. Umar, since I've met the man, it's kind of unethical for me to make ad hominem attacks about him. I'll criticize his points. I'll try to do it in the most respectable way, but sometimes you kind of get a little you get a little too antsy and stuff. But I don't on these YouTube streets or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a ghetto person, man. I'm not out here looking to beef. I've said it numerous of times. I'll say it again. I don't do beefs. Okay. Beef is for the beasts and the savages. And I don't do beef. Okay. This is a educational platform. I come here to speak with like-minded people, to share information, and to learn as well. I'm here to learn. So yeah.
Black woman. That's your biggest challenge. Once you are comfortable around your white family, you will be comfortable around your black family. Once you are comfortable, that's all.
Yeah, okay, that's done. Okay, so I've already been here for a minute. I didn't think I was gonna be here this long, but um got sidetracked a lot. I wanted to share that one because that one was talked about a few months ago and several months ago, I should say. And then I didn't really get to provide any commentary or analysis on it, even though I met the man. But there's a clip I'm going to share a little bit right now. If you guys can still bear with me, I apologize. It's kind of been a minute, but I'm here chilling, so I can't take this seriously. You can't choose what race you are. If you're a mix, when you're a mix, it's called self-love. Black people and other people, yeah, they want us to hate ourselves. They want us to. That's the way they control us, right? And like I'm telling you, silly people like the ghetto grandma and multiracial bowel movement, they'll do that. And, they'll say they're mixed. Well, they are, but, they want to serve blacks and they'll call you, you anti-black. It's like, no, no, I'm not anti-black. I'm just not going to serve blacks like you. You guys are stuck there in the community. So have fun. Um, so I can't take that seriously. I can't take that seriously, that clip. That's why I kind of skipped through it. And I'm going to jump on to this next one because that's going to give you a headache, man. I mean, it's because it's like that information's not good for you. It doesn't serve you. He's trying to fill your head in with all this foolishness about, not accepting who you are and denying who you are, only choosing blacks. I mean, this is bad shit, man. And it's sad to say because it's like, as a younger person, people they can get caught up into that where they want to prove their blackness. Like I shared a few months back an article I read that was it was written by Sarah Gather. I believe she's works in like diversity and inclusion at Columbia University over in New York. And she just wanted to be that one of her black colleagues called her black, even though she's white passing. Let me see if I can pull up an image of her real quick. She was so happy to be called black. And it's like, well, Duke University. Was it Duke? I thought it was Columbia. Yeah. Let me quick segue because I was talking about Sarah Gather. So people like her, who's obviously SJW lady. I read an article. Now she is a mulatto woman. Okay, she's a mulatto. Her father, yeah, she's a mulatto woman, white mother, black father. But you look at her, she's like looks like a white lady, right? So that's why things can get a little tricky. You're like, well, damn, you look just like a white lady, but she has a black father. So she is a mulatto, okay? But when she had a Kamala Harris dual identities, when she had a black colleague, so she's at Duke University, tell her I misspoke. I said Columbia. But she had a colleague that told her, "Oh, you're black. You should advocate for, BLM, Black Lives Matter." She was so happy. She was thrilled. She was like, "Oh, thank you. You called me black. Now I'm black." Like proving I'm like, "God damn, man. That's not me." So this is her right here. This is her family, her father, her mother, her brother. So like I said, I shared earlier the article like a few months ago. I was like, yeah, her brother, even as adults, looks more black presenting, Afro kind of presenting than her. She definitely more Caucasian. But she was like so thrilled. There's her brother here, a little older picture. And that's her. That's her parents. That's her husband, Sarah Gather. She's biracial, and it's not a secret. Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of people like her for sure who are, I guess that's the term they call white passing for sure. What I'm saying at the meat of the matter is that she was so happy that a black person identified her as being black. That's a fucking stretch. I mean, because I'm telling you, man, you go to Ghana, you go to Nigeria, one of these countries, man, it's going to be pretty funny. It's like you are not a black person. But let me get back into the, let me get, yeah, talking about Sarah Gather because she's one of them type of folks who just wants to be black. Just call me black and it's all good. Here we go.
Ask the
Dr. Umar Johnson, why having black babies with white women is not good. So he switched his whole stance. Their whole stance was, is you the seed of the black man, you blood child's black, switched his whole stance. So
question and answer the question. Listen to me. Listen to me. They said, Dr. Umar, if we are the dominant gene,
Can you guys hear the audio? Um, so the lady I shared, Sarah Gather, you're saying what race? She is a mulatto woman. She's a biracial, black, white, biracial woman. Sarah Gather. Yeah. Um, yeah, can you guys hear the audio?
If we are the original
Do I
people,
need to turn the audio up or is it good?
when we make a baby, that baby belongs to the African race. What's wrong with us making babies with white girls? Aren't we polluting the European gene pool when we make a baby with a white girl? Are not we defeating and destroying white supremacy when we make a baby with a white girl? That's the question. That's the question. How are we not winning against racism when we make that white woman have a black baby? That's the question. The question is, how are we not winning against racism?
He repeats himself a lot, huh? That's one of the most annoying things about him. He repeats himself. I don't know. I can't really say I have anything personally against him. Obviously his philosophies are, it's outdated, man. It's a new day. These mulatto people, biracial, we have come to realize it's you people are the confused ones because we fought for your ass and you slapped us in the face and we're sitting here like, hey, have fun. Have fun. You think the Asians, Hispanics, the Middle Eastern people, Arab people, Caucasian people, have fun, man. You think they're gonna support your businesses, they're gonna support you like that, they're gonna help. Have fun. Have fun. Have a good day.
When we force that white woman to have a black baby? Is that not a victory for African people? Let me know when y'all ready for the answer. Let me know.
Because the way I look at it is we have nothing to lose because we don't have full acceptance into blackness. It's like, why are we fighting? Why are we trying to get acceptance there? These people go on social media every day to mock us and laugh at us, right? So it's like, well, it's really a waste of time. It's really like it's foolish, in simpler words to like, you know, you have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. I mean, there's a lot of people, like I said, they just want to tippy toe and go along to get along. That's fine. If you can get your little clicks and your little views, that's fine. Me personally, I am trying to accomplish something. I want to have a space for us. And I'm looking at the chat, I'm looking at the engagement. I got all mulatto people here. This is what I want. This is what I've envisioned from when I uploaded my first video, 6 months ago. I want to have a mulatto specific space. I don't see it anywhere else. Like I told you guys on Monday when I look at on Instagram or the mixed space or these Facebook groups, it's all LGBT and all this other shit all over the place. Nobody knows what the hell they're talking about. This here is a heteronormative, straight, more conservative leaning mulatto specific space. It's small now. It's going to grow as I bring in more people in here. And of course, other people will share. The word's going to get out. It's going to grow. I want a mulatto specific space. Okay. The other spaces you go to, that's fine. You can have your black space or you're mixed in black, which is just a black. Then you're going to just serve the blacks. They're going to mock you for being light skinned. But when you mock them for being dark skinned, they're going to call you a racist and colorist. Have fun over there. But over here, I'm looking at the chat in the I'm looking at the interactions and dialogue here. I'm pretty happy with what I see, what I've kind of created in this short period of time. So I'm just kind of patting myself on the back. Actually, I'm speaking to you guys, but yeah.
When y'all ready for the answer, because I'm going to answer this. Let me know when y'all ready for the answer, because I'm going to answer this. The question on the table for King Kong consciousness from Negropeans of the Snow Bunny victimization crisis is when.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Let me segue back into this. The black gene dominance is eugenics theory. It's black supremacist theory. And also the divestors, they talk about the Eve gene. You've heard the divestors and the fem cells. They talk about the Eve gene, which is this black female supremacy. They push the they're baby mamas, but they're so supreme. Not all, but a lot of the prominent ones online, like It says the black genes aren't dominant. No, they're not. The black genes are not dominant at all. If the black genes were dominant, people in Ghana would refer me as a black man, but a lot of people referred me as a white man because I have considerable admixture. I literally look like a mulatto man. Okay. I look like I have family members that are white, which I do. So here we have Sarah Gather. And in your comments here on the screen, it says black gene dominance, eugenics theory. Black genes, they're not dominant at all. Sarah Gather at Duke University is Exhibit A. Now, she married a white man. She can, she's obviously white presenting, partially white. She can marry whoever she wants. It's not my issue. What I'm saying is like that whole black gene, they're going to have a child. That child's, give me a break. That black gene is not dominant at all. Look at that. This is the African Kang and his beautiful white goddess and beautiful mulatto children. Okay, she got married. Want to see the picture here, or is it right here? The wedding photo. She got married to her white king, and if they have a child, that is not a black child. Okay, they're not even black mulattoes. So as you can see here, the dominant gene, the black gene is so dominant. We the Kangs, we the Kang, we indigenous, FBA indigenous Kangs, we so dominant. Yeah. Congratulations. These are all Americans, by the way. So just for you guys around the planet and other countries listening, I'm here in the belly of the beast. So I'm here in America. Like I said, I see this shit. Like, I got front row seats to this clown world foolishness. So yeah, you want to listen to someone with some authority. I have a bit of authority, but yeah, this is pretty funny. Yeah, this is how dominant the black gene is. His own daughter right here looks nothing black. And even him looks a little bit blacker than her, but it's funny, man. These pro wax are hilarious. Yeah, the black gene dominant. Yeah, right. Sure. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. It's something. Like, you got other places out there, I mean, you guys are gonna do what you want to do. Yeah, that's what he calls himself, right? The King Kong. He refers to himself as a monkey, as an ape, right? King Kong consciousness, right? So that it's funny. The Eve gene is the mulatto gene because mulattoes give birth to both black and white people. Yeah. So let me go back to the clip here and then try not to take too much of your guys' time. I know it's a late night creepy, not creepy, but late night creep kind of stream. Friday the 13th. And so I just wanted to get up here and
They make a baby with a white woman. Are they not winning against racism by forcing a white woman to have a black?
Again, these are black nationalist conspiracy theories, right? Because this is a black nationalist. This is a black identity extremist. Okay. He loves and worships white people. Okay. White people. He goes to the white bank to get the money from white people with white presidents on it. Loves and worships white people. His degree he brags about. He got his degree. He's got a license. He got it from white people. But he wants all the mixed people to fight his battles for him so he can sit on his ass, smoking blunts, playing Xbox, chasing after mulatto women. See, that's the game. That's how this stuff goes down. Okay? He wants you to prove you're down with the communita. So you got to fight. You got to prove you're black. How do you do that? You got to go after white people. He's not going to go after white people. He's going to sit on his rear end, smoking blunts with Pookie, playing PlayStation 5, chasing after all the light skin, the mixed women, and you're going to be the one doing all the battles. And what do you get at the end of it? You don't get shit. It's funny.
Black child. Is that not a victory for African people? Are y'all ready for the answer? Are y'all ready for the answer? Are y'all ready for the answer? Let me give you the answer. Let me give you the answer.
The Queens is watching. Listen to that. The Queens is watching. Look at this fool. He's so proud of
Can
himself.
be having chapped lips. The Queens is watching.
You
Can
see
be
that
having
shit?
chapped lips. The Queens is watching.
The Queens is watching, man. This guy, man. I call him a fool. Obviously, he's not. He's pretty intelligent, but this guy's so full of himself, man. It's
Can't be
unbelievable.
having chapped lips. The Queens is watching. So here's the
The
answer to the
Queens is
question.
watching.
The answer to the question: are we not winning again?
And he wants that single mother tale, I might add as well. That's why he got mad at SETI, Sarah Suit SETI, the light-skinned savior up in Michigan area, called him out, and that's what really set him off because SETI pointed it out. This was a few years ago, several years ago. He pointed out that this guy's just trying to cater to these single black mothers that have black sons. He's like, yeah, I'll be the stepdaddy. I'll be the strong masculine male figure, in that child's house. Yeah, that's his whole grift. His whole grift with the whole parent teacher association and being a counselor for black boys so he can get access to those vulnerable single black mothers. It's sad and nasty, but you're dealing with the pimp, you're dealing with the hustler. That's the culture. Those are the heroes in the community. All the rappers, pimping hoes, and scamming each other, robbing from each other. That's the culture. But it's the white man's fault. But you're too much of a bitch and a punk to challenge the white man. So you got to get the mulattoes to do it for you. The best part about it, like I said, not just right now, 2023, moving forward, those numbers are drying up. You're going to have less and less and less and less and less of the mulattoes who are going to fight your battles for you. Too many of you, like he's doing now, been opening up their mouth, talking bad about the mulattoes. Now the mulattoes have the microphone and they're talking back and they're challenging the rhetoric. So it's a beautiful thing.
Against racism when we force a white woman to have a black child? The answer is hell no. You are not winning against racism. You are losing against racism, and I'm going to explain it to you in 3 simple principles. It is not a victory for us. It is a victory for them. Yes, the baby is black. Yes, we are the dominant gene, but it is not a victory. Number 1, according to the United Nations, argument number 1, according to the United Nations, argument number 1.
It's amazing. You guys catch that? How he repeats himself, he constantly repeats himself over and over. It became thought of as genetically, but it was based on terminology. The context in which it was considered dominant is because mixed was considered black, not because they just thought it was genetically. Yeah. Yeah. The one drop policy, any black blood, you're just black. It's like, yeah. You can see that those days are pretty much over today, right?
According to the United Nations, Europeans will be 7% of the world's population by 2050. Europeans will be 7% of the world's population by 2050.
Heard you the first time.
Now, what do we know about European history? When
They introduced a lot of, you should be thankful. There's a lot of technologies and concepts that they've introduced to you. You should be extremely thankful. But of course, you're not. You're ungrateful. Not surprised. That's why you're on the internet
whenever
complaining
their numbers are threatened
about the white man
they reproduce.
who gave you your, education, right? You should be thankful. You got an education from the white man. But look at how does that make you look? Now you're going to go online criticizing them. How does that make me look? Someone who is a fusion, literally half of my family's white. For me for what do I get for it? Advocating, for him. What do I get for it? Nothing. So I'm going to throw white people under the bus for him, for this, wants to be a pookie, but he's not a pookie. Okay. He's not a pookie. He's a smart guy. He's at college. His father wasn't a pookie either. That's why I'm careful who I label as a pookie. I don't call, I'm one of the more pro black males in the, mixed race spaces, so to speak, because the mixed race spaces are definitely female dominated. When I look on these Facebook groups, Instagram pages, YouTube channels, so for someone like me, believe it or not, I'm probably one of the more, because I came from the black male spaces, before I decided to create my own channel. Well, I already had the channel, but start uploading content. So I label, when I say you're a Pookie, that means you're a fucking Pookie. I know the difference. My father was not a Pookie. I don't come from trash from either side of my family. I come from middle class Americans, both sides, my black and white side. And so with Umar Johnson, he is not a Pookie. Okay, his father was a Marine, was a veteran, so he does not come from a poor background. That's why, he was able to excel within academia. So, but he appeals to the Pookie contingent. Watching his, videos and lectures, my analysis is he appeals to them because there's a large majority of them. There's a larger market pool of them that you can pull from. Most of these pro whacks that I see today, they're, kind of polished reform Pookies who are getting into their new grift, which is the race hustler grift, street hustler, so to speak. But yeah, he's not a Pookie. So he's a college educated individual. His father is a Marine, even though he doesn't get along with his father. But yeah, so I'm very specific on who I call Pookie. Just want to kind of publicly lay that out there because there's a lot of people who might make this claim that I kind of just throw everyone under the bus or label everyone. No, I'm very specific, right? My father's black, right? So I'm very specific in how I identify certain people. And for this guy, because he's extremely vocal, he's pushing his rhetoric where he's trying to put these, Chancellor Williams, conspiracy theories on us. And no, we're challenging that shit today.
With their victims, not because they are expanding their numbers, but they are expanding the numbers of Negroes who will be loyal to the white power structure.
Loyal to the white power structure. Now, what if they were loyal to the Negro structure? Well, the funny thing is the Negroes have no structure. There's really no choice. I mean, it's kind of laughable today at this point. See, the older generations prior, like I talked to some older gentlemen in this space, like it's like, there wasn't a pathway to kind of the mulatto designation, mulatto identity, what we have at our fingertips now, right in front of our eyes. Prior generations, we're talking as, even the 80s, 70s, etc., 60s, you were just had to be black and try to fit into that kind of black mold. Like you look at someone like, hey, a Smokey Robinson during the Motown era, someone like him, he just had to kind of fit in and get along with all the other dark blacks, right? It's not like that today, from what I see. And especially in the younger generation, because a lot of people like me, man, I mean, there's Mexican people and Filipino people in America who are darker than me, and people who are East Indian. There's a lot of people who are not of African descent, who their skin color, their pigmentation, their tone, they're way darker than me, right? And so I grew up kind of in that realization and understanding, especially in the diverse environment in Southern California, where a lot of Latino people and Filipinos, Vietnamese, etc., people who were like darker complected than me and stuff. And my mom is Caucasian, so I'm like, I'm just a normal American, The future is on my side, As I've stated on the channel, the future is ours. And I'm very adamant about that. It's up to us if we're serious about this. So it's not really in his hands, is what I'm saying. The last kind of straw he's trying to, hold on to something is really you don't have the influence as you did with the mulattoes back in the 80s, 70s, 60s. This generation today, a lot of them are going to give you the finger and say, fuck you. What do I get in return? Okay. I'm not going to just cape for your ass to be down with the hood. I don't give a shit about all that. That doesn't pay the bills. What do I get in return? And a lot of us are saying, hey, man, there's no protection. We don't get nothing in return. It's not, there's no fair trade off. So I'm not going to go out there caping for your ass, challenging white folks for what? Nothing. Yeah.
Stay with me. Stay with me. I need you to understand, overstand, and understand this Facebook.
He's going to repeat himself. Watch.
I need you to understand, overstand, and understand this Facebook.
He's going to repeat himself. Watch.
I need you to understand, overstand, and understand this.
I'm telling you, man, this guy repeats himself 2-3 times. It's amazing.
Facebook and Instagram. Yes, biologically, you are making more
Biologically, you are making more Africans. Psychologically, you are making more Europeans.
That's his whole thing. It's just because he's a psychologist, by trade, by discipline. But he says biologically you're making Africans. That's not true. We have our genes are mixed. We have, we're a mixture, a hybrid of European genes and African. So his whole he's not a biologist, or a scientist on that realm. I'm not either, guys. But my general observation, we're not just pure dominant black. I mean, I already showed you guys Sarah Gather. So it's like he's saying the mixed race African, they're, biologically black. They're not psychologically, but they are biologically. I'm not a biologist, but hey, man, I'm looking at this picture here. Mulatto daughter, Sarah Gather. I mean, she sure as hell is not, that's not a black person. Okay, guys. So that whole I'm not a biologist, but that whole biological argument is all foolishness. He isn't either. But like I said, a lot of the Pookies, the pro wax working for white people, they love white people so much. They go on the internet and talk crap about white people, but they go to their jobs, kissing their butt, begging them. So yeah, the black gene's not dominant. So that's not a biological black. I'm a mixture, right? Let's see. It says right here. It says, "Yeah, I've never been mistaken for a black guy. People think I am Puerto Rican. People think I am a Latino. They think I'm Brazilian. Not everybody. Especially if they hear my voice, they hear me talk or whatever. But a lot of people do. So the January 10, 2001 Virginia General Assembly apologized for the participation in the 1924 Racial Integrity Act that originally segregated mulattoes into the Black U.S. Census. Yeah, we have a lot of work to do. Obviously, me and you are both Americans. We have a lot of work to do, right? Because you have to understand, I know you're libertarian, I'm conservative. Um, the liberals on the left, they just want to mix it all up. So if you look within even the online spaces, these groups, these mixed race groups, and some of these other YouTube places, whatever, with mixed race people, they want to mix it all up. We all the same. I've even heard the ghetto grandma's dumbass, Golden Goddess. She's even said, mixed is mixed. So they just want to mix it all up. That's a liberal agenda. They don't want to add any specificity. They just want to, we're all the same to essentially eliminate race. And they're denying us of our identity. We've been robbed. You and me know, I mean, over 100 years as Americans, like you said, from 1924 and then 1930, they omitted the classification of mulatto. We've had our own designation. Even, Frederick Douglass is classified as a mulatto, just like W.E.B. Du Bois and a lot of others. And our history is essentially woven into the Black history. We're going to have Black History Month coming up in a couple weeks. They're going to have a bunch of mulattoes they're going to talk about. They're only going to talk about them as being Black. Nothing about their white ancestry or white heritage. That's a way for them to erase us. And that's what Umar wants to do as well. He wants to absorb us, erase us, to control us. He said in a Memphis lecture once, black and white mix, ain't no white left. Just because that's what he wants to happen doesn't mean that's what's happens. Tamara Mowry literally called her son black. Oh, yeah. I think, is that the sister person? I think people thinking I'm Mexican is the story of my life. Yeah. Yeah. Let me get back to that clip real quick. Then I'll be closing with some final thoughts. But yeah, man, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty funny. He's very adamant about that. Like I said, he breaks it down biologically and psychologically. So his discipline and trade is psychologically. That's why he's so adamant and focused on that. He wants you to identify with just being black, so he can use your ass to fight his battles. He's too lazy to do it for him. For himself, because he wants to kiss the white man's ass and beg for money, and white women's ass. There's already photographic evidence of him in a shopping mall asking a white woman for her number. So we know he goes online. A lot of these guys are hypocrites. He goes online talking about black men chasing snow bunnies, as he does in this video. You chasing snow bunnies, you're gonna have mixed race children, and they're gonna be loyal to the mom. They ain't gonna be loyal to the community. Fuck the community. Community is not loyal to mixed race people. Not me. Not in this generation. That's why I'm here talking to you. You know, you know, don't bite the hand that feeds you. And the problem is, you guys are ungrateful. Too many of you. The ones who are grateful, they're friends of mine, and I have a lot of respect for them. And a lot of them have respect for me. I have a lot of good people in my life, but people like Umar, some of these radical black identity extremists, the party's over pretty much. And so he's pleading. This was a few weeks ago. He published this. 3 weeks ago. This might be his backup channel, December 17th. So recent. It's like a pleading. He gets, like I said, he focuses majorly on the psychological component. You got to think like us. And it's for him, like he's probably accepting, yeah, he wants to absorb you, but all these other little ghetto blacks he's talking to, the Pookies, who don't know, basic, English skills, they're going to challenge you. They're going to be jealous of you. I'm telling you right now, the men and the women.
Let's take this to the plantation. Let's go back to the plantation one time.
Let's go back to the plantation when this guy was born, like in the late 70s, which is already 100 years removed from the plantation lifestyle. But like I said, with most pro-wax, they romanticize being victims. They romanticize the struggle. That is a miserable life. I'm sorry, guys. I mean, I'm sitting here, where I'm at. Oh man, I could be playing a guitar or watching Netflix, but it's a blessing to be talking to you guys. Or sleeping. It's pretty late, shit. Wake up tomorrow and go for a workout, a jog. But this guy loves being a victim. He romanticizes that in the plantation times and all that. Man, those talking points are old, man, after a while. You can get people on that for a while, but no progress. You guys are worse off than you've ever been in history. Like the numbers that you're declining population. You guys are becoming more and more mixed and miscegenated. You guys are losing all your political influence. Most of your politicians are pawns. Your district attorneys, the mayors of the major cities, state representatives, even Supreme Court justices. You have the liberal Ketanji Jackson. Like I said, she married a white man, has mulatto children. She's not with your black plight. Then you have Clarence Thomas. Now he's a conservative. The other angle, married a white woman, has a mulatto child. He's not with the black plight. So even with these blacks who get in the highest level of office, they don't give a shit about the black plight. Lori Lightfoot, or I like to call her Lori Studfoot, who's the mayor of Chicago, she's married to a white woman. She doesn't give a damn about the black plight. So your own folks, your own kinfolk, your own people, when they get into the highest levels of office in the United States government, they disregard your plight. So who the hell is he talking to? He needs to go petition his own politicians. He wants to talk to mixed race people. I'm not fighting your battles for you. Okay? So your little Pookie contingent can smoke blunts, play Xbox, and chase all the mixed light-skinned women. I'm not fighting for your ass. I don't give a shit what you call me. Call me what you want. I'm not going to fight for your battles. I'm going to sit here, laugh at you, provide some commentary, and keep it moving.
Let's go back to the plantation one time. Didn't we always outnumber the slave master?
Well, I just wanted to bring up that plantation part because it's funny. It's like I said, living in misery. It's extremely angry. The plantation, right? I mean, that's just, yeah, that is sad to bring that up. The image in your head to talk about slave days when he was born, 70s. It's like just such an angry life. He needs to go talk to his father and go talk to the baby mama or the conscious stripper or somebody. But he needs to stop being so angry at the white man when it's his own people who've done him in the worst. That's just like most of them. Most of them, it's their own people who've done them worse. They have so much self-hate. The reason why we're here talking is because we see their self-hate. They hate themselves, and they project their self-hatred onto us, beautiful mulatto people. And I'm one of the ones with some balls that are sitting here at the microphone saying, fuck you. I don't know you shit. What do I get out of it? Oh, you working for the white man. Oh, you a white supremacist. Okay, kiss my ass. Now what? So there's going to be a lot more of that moving forward, right?
Let's take it to the plantation. Let's take this to the plantation. I'm going to make it real simple. Let's take this to the plantation. Did we not always outnumber the slave master on the plantation? Can you show me a plantation that had more white people?
Oh, I like this one. This is funny. Yeah, yeah, this is funny. But I got a sound for that. Let me see. Yeah. In 3022, these motherfuckers will be on this during slavery. Yeah, bullocks. Of course, man. That is literally their whole identity is crafted around being a victim. And this is a grown man, okay, who's publicly, even Tariq Fraud Sheed, 6 foot, whatever, 6'2", grown man, 250 pounds, talking about being a victim to the white man. That's how hilarious it is. He's going to sit on the internet, talk about systemic oppression and racism of another man, and I'm supposed to take him seriously, right? But yeah, like you just said right there, like you stated there, that's hilarious, man. I wish I had a soundbite specifically for that. In 3022, they'll still be talking about slavery. It's never ending, man. This guy was born in the 70s, 100 years after slavery. And he's sitting there like trying to tell the audience, just think about the slavery times. Like they romanticize being victims and being slaves. And they want mixed race mulatto people to like be okay with that. Dude, I'm not a fucking slave, man. I don't understand your whole little victim struggle. You hate yourself. You want to have mulatto soap to lighten your skin. I don't deal with any of that shit, bro. I am a proud conservative mulatto American. And even in the area I'm at, yeah, it's mostly a lot of white people. Yeah, there's some challenges, but shit, there's a lot of wealth, there's a lot of opportunity. I'm good where I'm at. I'm in a especially the shitty apartment spot I was at in Las Vegas, several months back. That spot, there was a lot of bottom dweller blacks over there. It was a miserable spot. They weren't the only ones. You had a bunch of white trash and a bunch of other people in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is fun, tourism and stuff like that. But to live there, yeah, there's some good areas. But I had my fun while I was there. I moved on, so it's a big country, and I'm in a good spot now. But it's like, yeah, I'm not a victim, man. I'm not down with all that victim stuff. That's why I can't get into the pro-wax shit at this point in my life. That's exactly why they need mulattoes to support their population. Yeah, they're pleading, and it's the psychological component. That's why he's, because he's by trade, by discipline, he's a psychologist. So he's trying to plead with them, I don't know how to phrase this, but yeah, the whole mental capacity, right? And your perspective and how you think you only have to identify black. That's why they don't want us to use the term mulatto. They think mixed race is more innocuous, or biracial, it's safer. Mulatto means you're honoring your European side. You're honoring your European parents, your European grandparents, your European culture, heritage. That's what they don't like. They don't like that word. Talking about these blacks, they don't like that. They're like, oh, this guy's saying he's a mulatto. Yeah, you're damn right I am. I'm not going to throw that side under the bus for you. I don't get shit in return. You know, maybe that was the case, years ago, not today. I tried talking to some of the older folks. I know you, Flowers, you're older, so that's why I really am, extremely pleased to have you here and to talk with you and share information and stuff. You're extremely helpful. Have a lot of respect for you because you're older as well, and it's like, yeah, you're getting a glimpse because I'm a few decades younger than you. You're getting a glimpse of what the younger people are witnessing out here. And you see the guy on the screen, Dr. Umar Johnson. I've met the man face to face, got a picture of him, shook hands and all this stuff. Like, you're not talking to some random dude who's making shit up on the internet. I have firsthand knowledge. I have authority to speak on these matters. I've met these people, talked to them, reviewed their material, have some of their books. I have his book, but other people as well. And it's like, no, this is coming from the heart, from somebody who's really spent time analyzing all this stuff. This isn't, yeah, this isn't just someone who's bored on a Friday evening. I'm actually presenting knowledge, real information, right? Uh, and so, what was I going to say on that? Basically, the whole premise of your comment was that they need mulattoes to support their population, exactly, because their population is dwindling. They need the support. These other demographics, the immigrants coming into America, even the black immigrants. It's so hilarious when you think about the whole ADOS FBA. They've set themselves up, to basically fail, to be perpetual like failures, because the black immigrants coming from Nigeria, the Caribbean, even East Africa, they're distancing themselves from these FBAs, right? They're distancing themselves and saying, well, we're separate, we're different. And a lot of the FBAs are doing that tribal warfare as well. They're separating themselves, saying we're different. So they're completely divided. They're losing power. They want mulattoes. They want to use us for political capital, for influence. They want us to bring our wealth that we get from white society, our resources from white society, just give it to the blacks. We don't get shit in return. Oh, you get to put your hat on backwards and listen to a couple hip hop songs and act cool. That shit don't pay the bills. That doesn't elevate you in society. There's no return. It's so laughable now. I'm just one dude. I keep saying that. I'm going to continue saying that because I don't see enough of us out here having these conversations. It's just laughable. Like, what do I get by being a pro whack in 2023? It doesn't see, because if you're a white person in America and say you're pro white, people generally will say that's not acceptable. They'll say that there's something wrong with you for being pro white. That's literally the type of rhetoric you have in a society, in a majority white nation built by white people, and blacks help build it, of course, Native Americans, all demographics. Um, but a lot of white people laid the framework foundation for this nation. For a white person to say they're proudly white on publicly, they get shamed for it. But all these fucking pro whacks can run up and down social media and I'm pro black and blackety black, all this shit. Let me see. I got something right here. What is this right here? Right here.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, I'm blacker than black, yo, because I'm black and I'm back. Yo,
I think you guys got the gist of that. You can publicly proudly say I'm black, I'm pro black, and all that's okay. That's acceptable. You can be proud to be Latino. That's perfectly acceptable. You can proud to be Asian. Perfectly acceptable. But if you're proud to be white, people want to look at you funny. Do you guys not see how foolish that is? Complete fucking clown world. And it works the same way with us as mulattoes, because we are a fusion between a European and African. We say we're proud to be mulattoes. People are like, oh, well, you just don't like being black. Fuck out of here, bitch. I've been to Africa, all black nation, beautiful people. I'm proud. I don't know none of you shit. You got to kiss my ass. A lot of you guys got to start challenging. That's the thing, man. A lot of these mulattoes, man, are a bunch of fucking cowards. I'm not impressed. That's why, like with the Golden Sphere, I saw some videos, and I was like, whatever, man. You know, create my own videos, create my own streams, talk to some other people, network. It is what it is. I don't know if I read your comment, but Buenos noches. It says they never talk about how the slave masters would use the biggest and strongest Negroes as overseers and beat on other weak Negroes. Still happening today. Yeah, the Bucks. Yeah, Bucks. Yeah, you see that on the football field, plantation, the football and American football. I should, clarify. The NFL, American football, I think would be a great example of kind of the slave institution, the slave branding. I saw an article recently where is a university, they want to remove the word field from the football stadium. They don't want to call it field because of the slavery connotation. It's hilarious. That's that woke shit though. But what I'm saying, it does make sense because the whole institution of like the football is all slave shit. They have all these big black bucks. Some of them they even have the branding. It's like a tattoo. They brand them. They public. It's just a bunch of bucks, and they have auctions. They call it the NFL draft, where they're drafting these Negro bucks. Oh yeah, it's a slave spectacle. I like fighting. I like boxing, mixed martial arts. So I don't really even follow American football. I rather watch basketball, to be honest with you. Um, the NBA rather than football, but the football is all some slave shit. But yeah, that's what I think the good example of that when you talk about the big burly on the plantation, a big burly Negro would beat up the weaker ones. Yeah, for sure. And a lot of women played that role as well. The mammies, people use that reference a lot of the mammy. They kind of had a major role as far as that as well. Let me get back to the clip right here.
Than black people. Can you show me that? Show me a plantation that had more. We've always outnumbered the slave master. We've always, so if black people always outnumbered the slave master, how did the slave master remain in control? If we always outnumber the slave master, how did the slave master remain in power? You know how he remained in power? You know how he kept control? Because he kept a loyal group of house ninjas. He kept a group against their own people. That baby you making with that Asian, that baby you making with that Latina.
Conspiracy theories, conspiracy theories, conspiracy theories. See that? The mixed race children, that is going to be an agent to white supremacy.
No, that baby you making with that Native American, that baby you making with that Asian will be a natural spy and ally.
You see that, guys? Do you guys see that? See, he's desperate now. He has what am I going to say? He's so desperate now. He has to, because there's too many of us who are emerging in society. He has no choice. You see that word he used, a spy. That mixed race baby, he said, will be a spy to their parents. They will be an ally. You see that? That is the straight pro-whack black nationalist conspiracy theories. He's married to a mixed race woman, might I add, but he wants to use the ones that he can control. So he's just as bad as the white man, as far as I'm concerned. Well, the white man he cries and complains about. The funny thing is, the only difference is white man actually has jobs and resources and institutions. What does this Negro have? Doesn't have shit. He'd barely pay his child support. He's a king without a kingdom, as some people would reference. But that language, I'm telling you, pay attention to that. A spy, an agent. See, they refer to biracials, mixed race, mulatto people as agents, a spy. You can't trust us. So I'm sitting here listening to this guy. Why am I going to deal with your ass? You let me know right away. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you being very public and vocal about this. So now I know exactly what the situation is. Now, don't ever expect me to donate. Don't ever expect me to, if your ass is getting, I don't want to go that far. Don't ever expect me to kind of put my hand out in sympathy to help you up if you're in a situation you need to, because you let me know right away. With all that pro-whack, black nationalist conspiracy rhetoric, talking about I'm an agent for all these other people, you're on your own, buddy. If I don't have it, to me, it's like, what do I care? We don't have a choice. We're in a situation, we're put in a situation now. We got to start fending for ourselves and defending ourselves. We know when we go to you guys are killing each other. You guys have the highest, fratricide rates where you guys are harming your own people. Your music promotes it. You guys have hip hop music. You guys promote, killing your own people, abusing your own people. You guys do it to yourselves, but you got to blame someone. You got to blame someone else for why you're a loser. You got to blame the white man. And now you got to blame, it's the mulattoes. They're working for the white man. They're spying on us. Spying on you doing what? You guys have the lowest self-esteem. You publicly go on Instagram and, YouTube, whatever, acting like fucking idiots. It's a public platform. What is there to spy on? Like you have some top secret Negro meeting. You guys aren't getting shit accomplished. NAACP is in the hands of the Democrats. Like I already mentioned, all your black politicians are owned and controlled by the white power structure, so to speak. That's what you refer to it as. You need to go consult with your own leadership class. All the Negroes in high office, like Eric Adams in New York, city mayor, Lori Lightfoot, mayor of Chicago, And then Karen Bass, mayor of Los Angeles, the largest United States cities in the United States. You need to consult with them. You're not going to do that. You're going to be a cop out. And, like you said in the chat, you said right here, or is it right here? The scapegoating. Bingo. Scapegoating and demonizing us. This video of him pissed me the most off. Yeah, it's they scapegoat mulattoes. We're the biggest scapegoats. Like I said, black people in America are the biggest scapegoats in the American society. But in black society, as a minority as it is, mulattoes, we are the biggest scapegoats. Okay, because they can't perform. Asians, okay, more businesses. They have the highest acceptance and admittance rate into the universities. So they're outperforming them in academia. The Hispanics are outperforming them in the job market. Okay, there's more black men unemployed than Hispanic men. And so they're underperforming every demographic you can think of imaginable. They're at the bottom. I mean, only people they're next to is Native Americans. It's so funny now they want to be Native Americans. Now they put feathers in their afro talking about they're the real indigenous people. They don't even want to be black. But you look at the metrics, their numbers, their unemployment rates, and their, the health standards, education, etc., financially, they're at the bottom. They can't compete with all these other groups. So they gotta find a boogeyman for why they can't. It's your culture, bro. I already told you. You guys sing and dance songs about your own destruction. Your own women don't even like your ass. He's talking about being an agent. You have this whole divestment movement on full swing where they're literally publicly seeking a white man or an Asian man, whatever, or Hispanic man. They don't even want your ass. Like I said, I don't like to use the terms that they use. Like I coined like a king without a kingdom. That's a, divester term. It's very fitting, but I hate to use it. Like the, burn the cape, that type of shit. Kind of embarrassed that I have to use that type of language, but it's extremely fitting for this instance when you think about it, because what does he have to offer? I know I kind of went on a whole rant right there, but it's like, yeah, man, it's beyond ridiculous, that whole agent talk. And to me, that lets me know exactly the days are over, bro, of me trying to get acceptance and all this shit. And I think he knows it too. That's why he's very bold. I think a lot of them, they know that instinctively. They know, okay, this is another group we have to compete with, basically. Yeah, that's, what race is. Race equals competition. Etymologically, the word race, it means compete. You're in a competition. Now you're an adult. We're adults. Now you got to compete with different groups. Is the way it is. You don't have to cry about it. Be a little whiny baby. Fix your culture, change your culture. Have some self-respect. Stop hating your own people. Have some dignity in class, and maybe you'll, be able to produce and succeed like other demographics. Because other demographics, they have a culture, they have a code of conduct, they deal with problematic people, right? You guys let all the savages run wild and run havoc, and they're the cool guys. They're the hip, like I said, I reference hip hop because that's kind of the main staple of culture. I played a hip hop track in the beginning, even in the outro. I'll do it. Bone Thugs and Harmony, right? Yeah, it's cool when you're a teenager, and even as an adult. For me, it's nostalgic purposes. Remind me when I was a youngster. But that's the culture, man. Hip hop, we're all hood, we're all thugs, and blah blah blah. And now you can't compete. Okay, you can't compete, but it's not the white man's fault. It's not the mulatto's fault. The agent's fault. That's what I wanted to get to the point. I'm ranting a little bit, but the point about being an agent, when these people are publicly talk, like, this isn't secret. You're not having a secret hideout meeting. You're on a public platform. This wasn't developed by black people, might I add, YouTube. So you're on a public platform. But if we're over there, you want to say they're spying, they're an agent. He's going to tell the white man. He's going to tell the white man how to do the two-step. I mean, what are you developing of any substance that the world can use? Are you developing any, any type of medical innovation or any type of technology that could help advance civilization? You're just dancing, singing songs, throwing a ball through a hoop. You want to be liked and entertained. Everything's public that you do, dude. Remember this guy put on chapstick talking about the Quains are watching. The Quains are watching. He put on all his chapstick up here. I think it was right here. I'm at 544. Look at this.
Can't be having chapped lips. The Queens is watching. Can't be having chapped lips. The Queens is watching. Can't be.
He has to repeat himself 3 times, but you see that shit? He's on camera, chapping his lips, talking about the queens or nothing is like top secret, classified, information. He is very public, very vocal on camera, but he's going to refer to mulattoes as being agents. I mean, let me continue.
An ally of their mother's people. They're not going to be loyal to black people because black people are not even loyal to black people.
Bingo. He's going to repeat himself again like he always does. They're not going to be loyal to black people. Why? Well, because we watch a lot of you savages. You're not loyal to yourselves. You leave us with no choice.
They're not going to be loyal to black people. They're going to be loyal to the flag of China, the flag of Japan, the flag of Korea, the flag of Vietnam, the flag of Britain, the flag of France, the flag of Germany. That's what they're going to do. So you're not winning, brother. We losing because you keep on producing house ninjas for the slave master.
He looks very like nasty. Like you see the vitriol in his face. I'm telling you, he's all like he's going full blast right now. He is not a happy camper. He's like, you're gonna produce more competitors for me. You're gonna produce more competition for me. I'm trying to get them light skinned mixed women. Like I got one queen, I got one mixed race queen, but I want another mixed race queen. That's what he's. That's why the anger in his. Let me see. Let me pull up an image of this because I know some of you guys that are even in here probably want to see. Do I have the accurate image of it? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I was trying to see if I can pull up an image of his wife, his partner, but let me see. I don't think I have it. No, it doesn't matter. Whatever. I think you guys have already seen it before. Let me continue on.
All you snow bunny Negroes, you are producing house ninjas for the slave master. Now, some people are going to push back and say, wait a minute, Dr. Umar, are you accusing all mixed race Africans of being sellouts? Absolutely not. I would never do that. I accept.
You can't afford to do that, buddy, because your influence is so minimal in today's society. This ain't the 1960s where it was just black and white, where you had a very small Hispanic population. At that time, most Hispanics were classified as white, which a lot of them are today, but they have their own classification. Yeah, it's funny because in 1930 census, they removed the mulatto designation, and what did they replace it with? They replaced it with Mexican. Isn't that a coincidence? In the 1930 census, they removed mulatto. Prior to the 1930 census, since 1790, when the census was established, they've had mulatto on the government document on the census. They removed mulatto, 1930. They threw us in with all the blacks. One dropped us, and they put in Mexican. And they put in a couple others, I believe Chinese, Japanese, Native American. Yeah, they white. And then, yeah, they removed mulatto and they put in Mexican. They forced mulattoes to identify as black. Here we are today, 100 years later, analyzing all this history and data and realizing what the hell is going on. We listen to guys like this. This guy's got an agenda. As much as he talks about, the white man's got an agenda, the mulatto is a spy, an agent. They got an agenda. You got an agenda, buddy. You're basically letting us all know.
Mixed race Africans the same as I accept all Africans.
Like I said, he has to, though, because you really have no power. You're being outperformed by every other demographic in America. Even the Africans who come here, they distance themselves from your ass as well. They create their own separate kind of ethnic enclaves, right? They create their own in Los Angeles, even in San Diego and Southern California, the East Africans, they click up. They're very tight knit. They have their own separate groups. Like they have like a little like Ethiopia, little Somalia, things of that nature. So they congregate around their own. and they're very exclusive. When they notice you're an African American FBA, they don't, because they're tied in with their nationality, their language, their culture, and then their religion is a major component with it, which is Islam for like a lot of Somalians, most of the Somalians. So they gatekeep their culture. So they don't identify with the so-called FBA. So this guy, he has to plead to us, the mulattoes, who have, like for me, I have an FBA parent, right? My whole family's FBA, my black side. So yeah, he's trying to plead with us to be down with his little victimhood struggle in the slave times, in the slave when this guy was born in like the 70s, 100 years, a century post slavery. Um, he's going to have a hard time. I think people are kind of annoyed listening to this guy, his rhetoric, because it's just all outdated, right?
As long as they identify with the race. I accept mixed race Africans just like I accept all Africans as long as they identify with the race. But history has taught us. History has taught us.
Yeah, your comment here, basically, like you said, for his ass to suggest it's largely us that's holding them back is bullshit. Out of drugs, violent poverty, and crime, we're the biggest problem. Yeah, we're the biggest scapegoat. That's why I was like, I don't owe you guys anything. I don't owe the community nothing. You can call me whatever name you want. I'll take it. That's cool. That does, you guys have no power. I mean, there's people around here saying they have institutional strength and all that, universities, but yeah, kind of quasi. I mean, it's a lot of the LGBT when you think about the academic structure of universities, even the political class, because Ketanji Jackson, who was elected to the Supreme Court, she's in the pockets of LGBT. Lori Lightfoot, and the Chicago mayor, pockets of LGBT. In California, Karen Bass. I don't know. Politically, things are differently around the nation, big country of America, but a lot of the LGBT people have a lot of clout and power, and they pay off a lot of the politicians. People could say that's a conspiracy in itself, but you know. So what I was gonna say? Yeah, they don't have any influence really. This guy right here to really tell us anything, but they still want to say we're the biggest problem. It's their culture. A lot of them, they have a savage culture where they scam each other and they harm each other. And then they got to find a reason why they can't, compete with other demographics. So they got to blame the white man. They got to blame slavery. They got to blame the mulatto working for the white man. They got to blame somebody, right?
History has taught us that a sizable percentage of mixed race Africans will all.
History has taught us. So this is Chance. I apologize. I pausing a lot. It's almost done, guys. Been here for like 3 hours. Crazy. Chancellor Williams, the destruction of black civilization. All this rhetoric, all the black nationalists, the black identity extremists, the pro-wax, that is their blueprint. They call it the Black Bible. They call it the Black Bible. That is what they use in reference. To them, it's their grand conspiracy theory. When you start to navigate some of the pro-whack black nationalist circles, now I was never a black nationalist. I was a pro-black, right? I sympathize with the black plight, but when you talk to people, research and stuff like that, then you realize this is how deep it goes with these people. They literally they look at you as being more of as a mulatto person. They look at you as being more of an enemy than than a white person, because I told you most of them they love being slaves. They love white people. That's their biggest problem for my analysis, is they hate themselves and they love white people. So they love white people. They know not to hurt massa. They know not to raise their voice or hand towards massa. See, it's that mulatto person that they really don't like. That's the competition, because massa likes you better than them. So they're jealous and envious of you. So the book, The Destruction of Black Civilization, it's a pseudo historical analysis. It was wrote by Chancellor Williams, and he basically painted a whole picture that all the Africans got along. They're all civilized people. There was no tribal warfare. There was no tribes fighting each other or selling each other. Everyone got along, but the white man went into Africa and had, and he interbred with the black women there and created mulatto children. And then those mulatto children, they enslave the Africans. So that's the conspiracies that they push. And he's referencing that. He's not going to name the source of the book, but I'm telling you right now, all the black identity extremists, all the pro-wax, they always go back to that book, The Destruction of Black Civilization.
Has taught us.
History has taught him, he's saying.
History has taught us.
The black civilization.
History has taught us.
History has taught us. The history, like I said, I'll reiterate, is the destruction of black civilization is what he's referencing. I know this. Okay. That's what he's talking about.
That a sizable percentage of mixed race Africans will always be loyal to the other blood in their body.
So that is the grand pro-black, black identity extremist conspiracy theory. So if you're a mixed race person, I mean, what the hell were you doing over there dancing around thinking that everything's all grand and fun when they're literally telling you they have a historical analysis? Now it's pseudo, it's fake history, right? It's fairy tale stuff, but they will use that. Some of it is accurate. I mean, there are some cases, but they paint a broad brush. They don't, gather up all the details. They pick and choose the parts that fit their already, biased and fit their narrative. That's a major thing. So yeah,
History has shown us that the mixed race African Barack Obama, history has always shown us that the mixed race African Barack Obama, history has shown us that the mixed race African Barack Obama, in many cases, but not all, is more likely to be loyal to that other blood in their body. So we are not winning by producing all these mixed race, psychologically confused children.
See that? Psychologically confused. So, and when you accept who you are, meaning you are a mulatto, meaning you have European heritage and African heritage, you accept both sides, you take the good from both sides. See, that to him, that's confused. When you only claim blacks and you're a crab in a bucket with the rest of the blacks, with your pants hanging off your butt, dancing around, acting stupid, and you're hip and the hip hop songs and all this stuff, then you're the good guy. You're not confused. You know your culture. You from the hood. You know the struggle, right? The confused ones are the ones who accept themselves 100% wholly who they are, according to him. Those are the confused. That's a slur they use on you when a mulatto person is confused. They'll use tragic mulatto and they'll use confused. That's a slur they use. They're saying like I said, I'll reiterate, they're saying you're confused because you're not only claiming black, right? That is to be truly confused. If you go through the whole world, I'm just black. No, I got a white mom. I got white family members. I look myself in the mirror. I'm like beige yellow, they call high yellow. Like I'm a light skinned dude, man. I am not black like this guy, all charcoal and dark like my dad is. Yeah, good for him, but that's not me. And that's why they always reference like Wesley Snipes. That's their little dark skinned hero, right? And the funny thing is because like you go to an all black nation, all the dark skinned people, they're gonna let you know, hey, you're not like us, man. You're white. Happens in East Africa and Kenya. It'll happen in West Africa. You go to Ghana, like me, I've experienced this firsthand. And obviously, other places as well on the continent. So it's hilarious. So I'm the confused one when I accept my heritage from all sides, who I am fully. But if you just claim black and you're biracial, you're like, oh yeah, I'm biracial. I got a white mom, but I'm still black. In my opinion, those are the confused ones. Look, I don't identity police people. If you want to be down for the hood and be a little hood booger and all this, have fun, man. But don't involve me in the mess. Like I'm 100% mulatto.
I'm not calling my mixed race Africans psychologically confused. I want my mixed race Africans to hear me well. I'm not indicting you. I'm saying this. This is what I want my mixed race Africans to understand. This is what I want my mixed race Africans to understand. When
He wants his mixed race Africans to understand after he slurred us and slandered us, calling us agents. You know, I don't trust you, man. You guys picked your white side. Your agent. That's what I'm saying. What's the solution? So you have a real confused mulatto who wants to be down for the community. They're going to ask him, what's the solution? And he'll give you the solution. You got to fight all his battles. You got to kiss his black butt. You got to fight all his battles. And then you could be down for the community. You get nothing in return. You get slapped in the face and spit on in due time, especially if you don't vote for Democrats. Then they're really going to be mad at you. But like, it's funny how he kind of puts it like this kind of ownership situation. All my mixed race Africans. You just call them spies, man. But it's like some own, like they're gonna, for approval. There's a lot of sad, mulattoes. Those are the confused ones, man. I was in a confused kind of spot, I hate to admit it, where yeah, you want to prove your blackness. You want the sense of belonging. All human beings want a sense of belonging. I'm man enough at my age to realize, look, if there's not a space for you, if you don't have this community, this kind of solid foundation, a group to go to, you got to create it, man. You got to create it. You got to be the one who speaks up, who signals, like a lighthouse to other people to be like, hey, it's safe to come over here. Be who you are. Be yourself over here. That's the whole position of my channel, is for mulatto people. Because like I said, I've met Umar and I've been in that situation where I just wanted, basically to be accepted. I sympathize with the black plight. I was pro-black, and I have my wake up call, man. I have my biracial wake up call. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this subject. I might not be able to articulate it like some other people, but I do the best I can, with the tools that I have. And it's not healthy to just want to just claim black and deny your whole other half, your heritage. That is truly being confused. Only claiming black so you could be used by this guy who owes child support and doesn't even get along with his own father. So yeah, it's almost done, guys. So let me
a
continue.
black football player, basketball player, celebrity, mogul, millionaire, billionaire, these are entertainers, celebrities. They are on the road all the time. Their life is on the move. They will not be home to raise those children. Sean Puffy Combs is on the move. Nick Cannon is on the move. You understand? Most black men are on the move, getting their hustle on, building their legacy, their career. They won't be in the house. When a Chinese woman tells the mixed race Chinese black child, black people ain't shit, they won't.
It's a conspiracy theory. It's funny because he frames it as if it's like the Chinese person, or like he said, Chinese person will tell the child that black people ain't shit, but it's a lot of these blacks. What he's not telling you, because there's no accountability in the community. Like I said, there's a bunch of, crybabies crying about white people. There's no accountability in the community because a lot of these blacks will tell themselves that blacks ain't shit. There's a common phrase. Most of their households, they're raised by single mothers, single black mothers. And most of these boys and girls, they were raised by black women, black moms, who told them growing up that niggas ain't shit. That is a common saying in the Negro community in America. The matriarchal, the only community that's only community that's matriarchal is the black community in America, and it's ran by black women. You look at how successful it is, right? And they'll commonly say that niggas ain't shit. So they'll tell their own damn people, they'll tell that about their own fathers. Oh, he was a deadbeat. He didn't want to pay child support. He didn't want to be in the child's life. They'll say that about their own fucking people. But you see how quick this guy is to say, oh, the Chinese people, see, it's a conspiracy. He'll say, oh, they're going to say that blacks ain't shit. Or the white mom is going to tell when you at work, they're going to tell that child that black. See, you see how funny that is? The blame game, no accountability. I'm telling you guys, because that's how it is. They don't think highly of themselves. I'm not saying all. I'm not an absolutist. So please, if you're listening, don't take offense. I mean, I probably am pissing off some people, ruffling some feathers, but it is what it is, man. These conversations are going to have to be had in the most respectful manner on my part. But analyzing this, I'm like, look, this guy, there's no accountability, no accountability for his actions. And yeah, because he's heard it. They all heard it. Their own mama talking about their deadbeat dad. Oh, he ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit. But here he is trying to say that, oh, all the mixed race people, their non-black parent, are talking negatively to the child about their black side. But I'm like, you blacks already do that anyways. Everybody learns how to treat you on how you guys treat each other. You have no code of conduct. Everybody knows they treat you accordingly because you guys don't respect yourselves. It is what it is.
Won't be around when the white mother tell that mixed race black child that black people ain't shit. They won't be around when that Latino woman tells their black child black people ain't shit.
Look at how angry he is in his face. It's funny because I'm gonna just say it again. They say that to their own damn people. They tell to their own family, their own people, the children. The mom will say, or though your dad ain't shit. He owes me child support. He ain't nothing. They say that to their own people. Oh, them niggas ain't shit. You got to work for the government, work for white zaddy. So they say that to themselves. But then, of course, there's no accountability. They can't compete. So they got to use mulattoes as a scapegoat, right? To get to white people, because ultimately they want to get on their knees and serve white people. They want white acceptance more than anything. And they look at us as a bridge to getting acceptance, getting access, proximity to whiteness.
They won't be around. I want y'all to understand, overstand, and understand me. I want my mixed race Africans to understand me.
My mixed race Africans understand you. I understand you're full of shit. I mean, it's funny, man. It's sad the position you're in now, but I understand 100%, and it's very sad. But yeah, we're talking about it.
The mother is the first teacher of a child. The mother is the first teacher of a child.
And a lot of these black mothers raising these black boys, you know, they're uplifting the women, the girls, to be women, to go to school, and they're talking crap about the boys because they see the boys, the black male boys, and they see the father when they look at the boys. And so they treat the boys like crap. And a lot of these boys, these young black boys, that's why you have SYSBM and passport bros, because that kind of spawned a lot of them probably have mommy issues, or their mom, they didn't have a father in the house. Their mom treated them like shit. And they grow up, they're like, man, I don't want a woman like her. I want to get something a complete opposite because they grew up with bad moms. I mean, you know.
The mother is the first teacher.
So what I'm saying is, like, the mother's the first teacher, but you have a lot of black people. Their teachers are moms, but the community is in shambles. Their moms are telling them, to not trust other black people, to go to a white school, get a white education. See, all this blame for mixed race people, the scapegoating. I know I've been up here for a minute. It's almost done, guys, so I'll be closing out pretty soon, but somebody's got to talk about this shit. And I'm the one that has the authority to talk about this because I've met the man, and have analyzed some of his lectures or whatever. Not a lot of useful information. It's just pro whack rhetoric. But here we are talking about this. This was a couple weeks ago. So
of a child. So if the mother is the first teacher of the child, if you have a baby by a woman of another race and she's teaching your child, and you are not around when she teaches your child. You are not around when she teaches your child. You are not around when she teaches your child. And she is a racist herself. She thinks she better than black people herself. She hate black skin. She hate big nose. She hate big lips.
it's funny because most of them hate that. I'm not actually. Let me rephrase that. I apologize. Not most of them. A lot of them hate their own damn features. Let's keep it 100. But see, it's all this projection. It's the white people, the Asian. They don't like their own features. Well, why would they lay down and sleep with you and have a child with you? But they don't like your features. A lot of confused people, man. I look at this Negro is confused. But of course, it's a projection. Me accepting Me having a good relationship with my mom, my family, mulatto people wanting to build with similar people like myself. I'm the confused one. It's not looking good for a lot of you guys, man. Like I said, we're your probably your biggest bet, your best bet, I should say, your biggest allies. I don't see these Hispanics building a coalition. If they build a coalition, they're going to be on top. You build a coalition with Asians, they're going to, I mean, nobody is going to allow you to rule them. You don't have a system, a structure, institutions. So you got to be able to cut some deals out here, man. I mean, it doesn't make sense. No one's going to kiss your black ass like that. This ain't 1960s, bro. We're in 2023. So, but he's framing everything as if it's like everyone else's fault. They don't like my nose, my skin. Well, a lot of you guys don't either. Your own damn kinfolk. Come on, man. Wearing wigs, bleaching their skin. A lot of you don't even. So why are you blaming these other people? It's an internal issue. Okay. Look at yourself, correct things within your own household, clean your own backyard first before you start, casting stones, right?
She hate black people. You don't think she not gonna put that in your baby? You don't think these mixed race children who don't identify as black?
I don't identify as black. I don't. I did at one point, but I realized it was a fraud for me. It just didn't fit in. I'm not a victim. I've told you guys, I'll tell you guys again, I'm not a victim. And I denounce that. Denounce being a proud victim, a proud slave. Nobody owes me anything. Everything is my fault. Everything is my fault. Nobody cares. I need to work harder. It's my fault. Okay? I'm going to go take a nap or some rest. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to get my ass outside. I'm going to run, do push-ups, do my workout. Everything is my fault. Full accountability. I need to do more push-ups. I need to do more rounds. I need to run more, hit the punching bag, do jujitsu. I need to put in more hours in the office. I need to make better investments. It's my fault. Everything is my fault. I take 100% accountability. Nobody owes me shit. And these blacks don't owe me shit. I'm not asking blacks for anything. But just like that in return, I don't know black shit. Okay. And my whole thing is I'm trying to basically be a voice for a lot of you mulatto people who are struggling to accept that reality as well for yourself, for some mental sanity. You don't owe it to yourself to be a better person, right? You're not getting anything in return from Dr. Umar, who all the projection about all these other people, they don't like me because my skin and my nose. Well, quite frankly, a lot of black people don't like themselves. It's because of the white man. You see, because of slavery, institutional slavery, he made it so I don't like myself. So he owes me reparations. I'm telling you guys, especially you beautiful mulatto people, man, don't fall for the foolishness, man. It's been a long night. I've been here for over 3 hours. I'm gonna just get out to these closing comments. So I think I read that one. Shout out to you, DC. He's talking all that jive talk with a degree from the white man. You can't make this jive up. Yeah. 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 Is a white man who accepted him into their university, taught him all the discipline he knows, the psychology, the language he's speaking. Yeah, it's the white man, who gave him all that, but he's so ungrateful. It's sad. They are literally crying over people they don't have to make. Next, he's going to mention how the white mom will damage a child, but Tipu Tip had a black man, one of the biggest traders in Zanzibar. Yeah, yeah. I haven't really looked into that history so much, but yeah, no, for sure. They were selling themselves to be slaves, but it's the white man's fault. When all else fails, blame the white man and blame the mulattoes, right? How can Europeans reproduce with Africans? Unless there was a consent to reproduce. It takes two to tango, right? Yeah. There's no accountability in a community. Okay, that's one thing. Everything's the white man's fault. Everything's the mixed race people's fault. We're trying to replace them. That's the conspiracy, like he said, throughout history has taught us. It's the pro-whack conspiracy. Okay, yeah. Right? All of the colorist, texturist, featurist insults I heard at school came from black children, not white. Yeah. I even something for me like, that you mentioned that recently. I was in LA working at the convention center, and there was a lot of African American, okay, FBA people I was working with there. and there was quite a few Nigerians, so West Africans working there. This is a security detail, and it was crazy, man. A couple of little FBA studs. There's a lot of female studs there, unfortunately, and they were talking shit about the African. They were talking about his skin color, and of course, I'm light and bright. You guys know what I look like, light skinned mulatto guy. And I'm sitting there like eating my lunch in a break room. I was insulted. And this was, I think this was 2019. So this was after I came back from like Ghana, Africa. So I was already more kind of connected to like West African culture, being at an all black, West African nation like Ghana, and Nigeria is like the next door neighbor, right? So I was already well acquainted kind of with the culture, more familiar. So I was definitely like going to be more nicer, but they were talking shit. These savage FBA, people, these studs too. They're weird. Like that's not normal, right? So they were, same sex attracted, women. They were talking shit about this man, being dark skinned. These were all adults, I might add. Um, you know, you can't make this shit up, but they'll whine and cry if a white man makes a comment. You're racist, colorist. But these FBAs were literally adults mocking this African man for being dark. Like they said some comment about him being, oh, look at how he's how black he is or something. I couldn't believe it, man, sitting there. How publicly disgusting and disgraceful you can make those type of comments, right? You guys probably think I'm pretty harsh. Believe me, I am pretty harsh. I think you know that, but difference with me is I'll say it to your face, and I don't just challenge, I don't just attack people, make it homonyms like that. I'm pretty specific about who I go after. But with that comment right there that lady made, I'm referencing was pretty disgusting. But you're right. Like I said, I mainly see a lot of black people make these comments about the nose or the hair or something like that. I mean, I'm bald, but the whole colorism comment shit. So it says internalized anti-blackness is the biggest issue in the black community, not agents from other communities. Exactly. At the end of the day, it's them who are killing themselves the most. It's their own who are selling them drugs. It's their own diet habits, their dietary habits, what they're eating, the highest numbers of glaucoma, high blood pressure, diabetes. That's within the community. So it's a health lifestyle, health choices. It's culture, their culture to not trust each other, to do business with one each other. It's not the white man, it's not the mulattoes, it's them. Internalized anti-blackness. It's a cultural thing. And I don't really see themselves getting themselves out of it. You have a couple of coon lottos, like you'll have the ghetto grandma and the multiracial bowel movement. They're going to sit and cape for Pookie in a community because they have higher status there. They'll be the light skin, the mixed chicks with all the little Pookie simps they got on their channel. So they're going to cape hard for the community because they want their place there. They have more status there. See, amongst the mulatto elite, they're going to be in the back somewhere, just being quiet, knowing their place, right? They're not going to have the microphone being all loud and ratchet, making noise. That's not going to happen over here. So they're going to have those people, mulattoes, who just they want that acceptance into the community. They feel like it's more favorable to them. Have fun, have at it. But I'm not going to go down with you. Just leave it at that. Well, guys, it's been splendid. It's been long. This is the longest stream officially I've ever had, but it's been a pleasure to be up here with you guys. I really enjoy this. This is why I'm here. I'm doing what I'm doing to speak with you guys. It's a blessing. It's a call. It's a calling to do this, right? For me, that's how I feel. And this thing is going to grow. The community is going to grow. The public is spoke. They want to see more video reactions, kind of like that. But you're going to hear a lot more from me as far as article analysis and history. I've been at this for a minute. It's late. I'm going to get out of here, guys. So love you guys.